The first round of the NCAA basketball tournament concludes tonight. Right now, Iowa out to an 8-4 lead against Clemson, starting the 4 games beginning this hour. UCF against UCLA in 25 minutes. St. John's against Northern Iowa. Tip is 10 minutes away. And about a half hour away, Purdue against Queen's University. Kentucky in overtime survived, beating Santa Clara 89-84. Otega Owe 35 points, including the tying 3 at the buzzer of regulation. 2-seed Iowa State 108-74 winners against Tennessee State, but Joshua Jefferson of the Cyclones left early with an ankle injury. Tennessee and Virginia each advanced, Texas Tech and Alabama as well. 1 seed in the West, Arizona 92-58 over Long Island. Utah State beat Villanova 86-76. Women's NCAA wins for Texas and Duke. I'm Steve DeSager.
I've been covering this league since 1987.
Can this sports writer and this sports fan share a radio show without driving each other crazy? Now, live from the Fox Sports Radio studios, here's Fox Sports Radio's Odd Couple, Rob Parker and Kelvin Washington.
Password.
Ack, a dack, dack, ack.
Enter, brother.
That's right. Come on in. With that password, you now have full access to this very fine radio program for the next 3 hours.
Not 2, not 3.
Thank you,
not
LeBron.
4.
No matter how you listen in, Fox Sports Radio, foxsportsradio.com, the iHeartRadio app, SiriusXM Channel 83.
Wow.
And, of course, now live,
We'll do it live.
On YouTube.
Do it live.
Thank you, Bill.
I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Appreciate
do
it. Say my name.
Rob Parker.
Say his name.
Kelvin Washington.
And we are indeed the odd couple on this funky flashback Friday. Woo-hoo! And don't forget, we'll need your phone number. You'll need our phone number, I should say, because we are, without question, the most listener-friendly national sports talk radio show on the planet. At least when people are still awake. Sorry about that, Ben. Write it down, commit it to memory, 877-99 on Fox. 4 for you laymen and guys who can't figure out the letters and numbers.
It's not trigonometry.
877-996-6369. And if you hear feedback on the line when you do call in, it's your own fault. It means only one thing.
You forgot to turn down the radio.
And if you call in here and have a problem with what we say to you, tough because...
Well, I'm talking to you the way I want to talk to you. Do you have a problem? Turn off your station.
And with all of that said, always remember...
Sweet oopity, yeah.
That's right. There you go.
Yay.
Let's go. Big show. Let me welcome in my co-host. He is
Kelvin
Washington.
That's right. Happy Funky Flashback Friday to you and everybody listening, man. Gonna be a great day, great week. We got a bunch of stuff to get to, man. So feeling good. How are you, brother?
All good. Ready to go.
Let's do it.
All right. I should say, hey, are you into video games, celebrities, or just a good time? The Global Gaming League is a video league with celebrity-owned teams from T-Pain to Neo.
Shawty.
That's right, competing in everything from Call of Duty to Tetris. Sign up and join the league at globalgamingleague.com. Let's welcome in the Odd Couple crew. We wouldn't be able to do this fine radio program without them. Rob G is our producer.
But Mexican is...
Alex is our engineer.
Alex, you're a hidden talent.
Steve DeSager is at the anchor desk. He'll keep us updated throughout the program. And
Never heard of him.
Elijah
Who is it?
is our social media guru. So a lot of stuff to get to. And we should start with the Luka Doncic and Lakers. Rob G beat Miami, and people were chanting MVP down in Miami.
I mean, you get MVP chance, Rob, when you drop a 60-burger on the Heat on the second night of a back-to-back when you got in at 5 a.m. local time. Luka put on an absolute show, so much so, check this out. Not only did it have the home Miami Heat fans chanting MVP for the Lakers legend, it had Bam Adebayo after the game trying to re-justify his own 83. Take a listen.
No, he had some tough shots out there. Like, it is what it is. I know what it's like to be in that mode. As people can see, it's not easy to get 80.
Yeah, okay. All of a sudden, he's an expert on scoring a lot of points. I mean, come on.
He did score 83, Rob. He knows what it takes.
That was after never scoring
Whatever.
over 40.
You said you're an NBA player because you beat Nancy Lieber. Okay? Now you're an NBA player out here in these streets.
I'm just ridiculous. And I'll tell you this. I'm just going to be straight up. And Luka had a great game, great win for the Lakers, back-to-back in Miami and all that other stuff. MVP? Are you kidding me? How about that? There's no way, no how I would vote for Luka to be MVP. First of all, the guy is a defensive liability. This is the same guy who's been putting up numbers all year, and people said the Lakers have no shot to win. He's been scoring all year. They have no shot. That's all I heard about the Lakers. They have no shot to win, no shot to come out of the West. Right? Because you got 3 statues out there instead of defense. We know it. And then the other part, aesthetically, he's hard to watch. You know why? He's the biggest baby in the NBA, and he complains on every single call, every single time he puts up a shot in the NBA. Who wants to watch that? There's a thing called sportsmanship, too. That should be a demerit to him. I don't care. The other guys who have had bigger impacts to their team. We talked about it. I would vote for Jaylen Brown 10 times before I would vote for Luka with your vote, Kelvin. Forget about my vote.
Don't be worried about my vote.
I'm just saying, I wouldn't even vote for him with your vote, let alone mine. I can look at all these other players. SGA. I could even look at Cade, who won't qualify, and talk about what they've done. To me, most of the Lakers season was disappointing, and people wrote it off. And now they got a little hot streak on, and now I'm supposed to act like 3/4 of the season that I watched didn't happen? He ain't no damn MVP. It's called prisoner of the moment. People are so phony. That's what they do. They watch one night. I guess Bam should be MVP after the 83-point debacle. Where were those chances he should have been MVP? Luka's not the MVP of this league, not even close. I would never, if he continues to play like this, the way he plays, the big baby antics, I would never vote for him. I'm sorry, I couldn't do it. And you got to give me more effort on both ends. You don't have to be a defensive stalwart. Make an effort. And most of the time, he doesn't make an effort. That's why the Lakers got swept last year in the first round. Everybody and their uncle told me, oh, LeBron and Luka. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, I remember it very vividly. And for 75% of this NBA season, nobody thought that the Luka and the Lakers were going anywhere. Maybe home dinner and a show, but they weren't going to no Western Conference Finals or the NBA Finals for that matter.
All that drama you just gave me for no reason. All that drama. First of all, Luka Doncic is never going to be Pete Kawhi Leonard, Scottie Pippen when we're talking about effort. We know that. That's never going to happen. He's never going to be a defensive stalwart. However, if you've been watching for the last few weeks, not only has he, but that team has been playing much better defensively. That's what kept them in games. That's what allowed them to win 8 straight in 9 of their last 10. And I think it's like 10 of their last 11. They've been incredible lately, and specifically Luka has been out of this world, Rob. The man is averaging 41, 9, and 7, and Mr. Rob Parker, 2.5 steals over the last 8 games. And so we're sitting here saying, nobody's saying he has to be the MVP as we sit here, because there is a guy called SGA who's been out of his mind all year. And then we got an alien who's 7'5" named Wemby. But to act like he's not in the conversation is crazy, because he was in the conversation for the first third of the season. Then the team had a little rough patch. They're trying to figure things out. They've been incredible over the last, like I said, I gave you the duration of it. Right now, they're sitting here third, and you're acting as if they're the Suns at 39 and 31, where it's like, they're a little over mid, or 34 and 36, the Clippers or something. The Lakers sit here 45 and 25. And again, they're third in the West, which gives yourself a punching chance to, hey, you never know what's going to happen in the postseason. That is exactly an MVP candidate. And this team,
you can't even make an argument against Jaylen Brown, who did a much better job without another star. He has two other guys who can score.
Jaylen Brown is absolutely an MVP candidate. Nobody said he wasn't.
I'm just saying, there's four guys. What conversation? There's four people you could pick ahead of Luka Doncic. Four. That's all I'm telling you. He's not in that. That's not a conversation. You know what you do when you go into horse races? I'm
going to tell you why it's a conversation.
There's only 3 spots that you look at, not 4, not 5 if he gets up the 5th spot. Let me tell you why it's a conversation. It's also a conversation because we have a little rule, as we discussed. You got to play 65 games. And there are guys who are teetering right on that line. And so that also keeps it in where you might mess around and he went just based off of that alone. Now, obviously, SGA, it looks like he'll make it. He'll be fine. But you got guys like Wemby that are close. You got Jokic. Rob G, is Jokic even still eligible? He's like he's teetering. Rob G? I don't know if Rob G's listened to me or not. But my point is, Luka has absolutely put himself right in this.
What?
He is. Yeah, Rob G, you weren't there for me when I needed you.
I was trying to send you a message privately about something else, but okay.
Oh, but yeah, don't be when I needed you. You weren't there. You're my right hand man, and you didn't listen to me. No. So my whole point, Rob, is that I'm not mad if, let's say the conversation was, is it him or SGA, or is it him or Wemby? You pick one of those. I'm not arguing that. But to act like what Wemby has done, and I told this earlier, talking about it with Rob G. One thing I love to do in life is to give credit. If I said Rob Parker has this thing he doesn't do, and all of a sudden you started to work on it, improve, or a friend or a child.
He hasn't improved his defense for over.
He has absolutely improved his effort. It's beyond 8 games. It's beyond 8 games.
He's a terrible defender. He's a terrible defender.
He will never be.
He's a terrible defender.
Rob.
No,
then I never watch
this.
Then I never want to hear Rob Parker tell me Jokic can be the MVP.
Yes,
ever.
he can.
You know, I don't want to hear it. He's a terrible defender.
The numbers he puts up,
the same numbers. Luka puts up.
They're not the same numbers.
They're almost identical.
No,
He'll get a few more rebounds because he's 6 inches taller.
Well, they're not the same. There you go. They're not the same numbers.
But No, you're sitting here telling me he's not a defender. Please remove Joker from this conversation.
Because Joker, what he does offensively with passing the ball, rebounding the ball, and scoring have never been done.
And while you're talking about Joker is currently sitting 6th in the West right now. Currently sitting 6th in the West. And I need him to get more smoke.
He won an MVP at 6 if you did your research.
Right. But I'm talking about this season because you're talking about Luka and the Lakers and how they're not expected to do this.
He's already won an MVP at 6.
Why are you bringing right? And I'm talking about this season.
Why? Tell me why.
And so did Russell Westbrook when they thought he may not make the postseason.
Tell me why he won an MVP
So my point is
at 6.
the same things you're saying about Luka.
Tell me why.
Please don't do that.
Tell me why.
And listen to this. So Joker is 20. Joker is at okay. Wow. Joker is at 28, 10, and 12. Luka's 33, 9, and 8. Joker's team has actually been underwhelming. Joker's team hasn't been looking correct. Hasn't been looking right now. And they're 5-5 in their last 10. So definitely, if you're having the same smoke for him, I need all that smoke like a chimney when it comes to Joker. So absolutely, Luka is in this thing. The Lakers have been playing well. Nobody's saying that winning a championship today, but they're doing they're doing what they're supposed to do. Win a bunch of games, get into the postseason, and compete.
All right, 877-99 on Fox, 877-996-6369. Does Luka deserve to be one of the front runners for the NBA MVP award? We'll continue that conversation next with you, 877-99 on Fox. It is The Odd Couple, where we deliver insight, not noise, right here on Fox Sports Radio. Stick and stay,
America!
Yeah, it's a bad day for us Piston fans right now. Detroit basketball is down in a big way. Cade Cunningham officially diagnosed with a collapsed lung, expected to miss an extended period of time. They didn't say initially how long he's going to miss. Later reports confirmed it's going to be a minimum of 2 weeks. So even though Detroit is atop the Eastern Conference, they're currently winning against Washington. It's going to be tough to close the season without your best player, your only playmaker. And as a sidebar, unless he comes back at exactly 2 weeks, there is a very, very good chance that he will not be eligible for any postseason award. This was a guy who was an MVP candidate as recently as 2 weeks ago. Seemed like a shoo-in for first-team All-NBA. And now he could be left out of the cold completely.
And rightfully so. If you don't play enough games, and it's not has anything to do with Cade Cunningham, and he's had a tremendous season. But that's just the rules, and it makes sense. It's always been. I talk about it all the time. You don't qualify in Major League Baseball if you don't have 3.1 per plate appearances, right? Mm-hmm. That's what you need for 162 games. If you don't get that, you don't qualify. It's just that simple. Somebody could play 100 games in baseball, hit 400. They're not winning the batting title. They won't have enough at-bats. So the same thing when it goes to Cade and other players involved in this. But my biggest story, I think, and I know people are a little worked up about that he's not going to be up for awards. But I think if I was a Pistons fan, woke up and saw that news, the season's over for the Detroit Pistons. You could discount it, poo-poo it, try to make it not be so, and, he's going to be reevaluated in 2 weeks. He's not going to be ready to play in 2 weeks, reevaluated. Then it's going to take you about a week or so to get revved up to play. So you're in a situation where you're going to be without him. Mark my words, the Celtics will catch the Pistons. The Celtics will catch the Pistons, win the Eastern Conference, and this will be the beginning of what looked like a beautiful season for the Pistons. But as you look at it, he's the guy, the creator, the guy who can score for them. The outside shooting, the three-point shooting, abysmal. I'm sorry. It's Cade and nobody for the most part. It's Cade. He's the stirrer. He's the drink stirrer. Mm-hmm. Cade Cunningham. And to act like a collapsed lung is like a sprained ankle and he'll be all right and he'll be right back in there. It ain't that. It's a little tricky. Are there broken ribs with that collapsed lung? He could have broken ribs in there.
I mean, he took for those who didn't see what happened, he took like a knee to his lower left side.
But like usually that's
something
where
punctured it or something.
Something punctured it, so there could be 1 or 2 broken ribs in there. I like the 4 ribs at Grouse, but not when it comes to Cade Cunningham and the Pistons playoff.
You only getting 4?
That's all. 4 for $5. 4 bones. That's okay.
No, the deal is good, but I'll be hungry.
$5.
I guess that's why you get that in the thigh, and then that makes sense.
It's just a snack. All right, but I'm convinced.
But Rob, you weren't convinced they were going to do anything in the first place. So this ain't a new revelation for you.
That the season's over. I didn't say that.
But I'm saying you didn't. My point is, what did you think they were going to do anyway?
Go to the second round, win an easy first round matchup, and
so they're not going to win a first round. You saying?
I'm not convinced. Not with that.
Obviously,
not
you
with
guys
that
see
team.
Matchups matter.
Yeah, who are they playing? And then if Cade's not playing, I'm not convinced.
I expect him to play in the playoffs. We got
what Cade are you getting in the playoffs?
As long as I get,
you got broken barbecue ribs.
Yeah, well, listen, as long as he got us, that's why we keep a spare. Ain't there such thing as a spare rib? We keep a spare rib around here, Rob. Dang it, we're gonna bandage him up. We're gonna give him some little holistic medicine. We're gonna call Alex, give him some beat it up juice or whatever you call it, and he'll be all right. No, a couple of things. One, obviously it sucks, but let me offer a silver lining or the way to find maybe a blessing in disguise. You, even I, which is why I haven't said they're going to the NBA Finals, no, they need somebody who can take it to the next level. Jalen Duren has been amazing. Last game he had, I think it was 36 and 12 on like 75% shooting. He's been great. He's been an all-star. He's been spectacular. But he's not necessarily a guy you dump it down and say, give me a bucket. He can. And to his credit, he takes full advantage of teams who don't have the size and the strength that he has. I love to see kind of a throwback doing that. But you do need a bucket getter from the outside. And I'm wondering if I'm the Pistons to say, nobody wants our best player to have a punctured lung. Are you kidding me? Sounds awful. But can we, for the next 2 to 3 weeks, find some more offense, find some better sets, find some better ways to get guys shots, find some better looks for people. Does a guy step into a role that we say, we know he was solid, but dang, he actually really can produce or create for us. And now all of a sudden you got something that you can become an additive or an addition as you get into postseason. I mean,
but the only issue I have with logic is that you don't know what Cade is coming back, or you don't know to what degree.
So history. So only going by based off what we know. So typically they say somebody's out when they've had this happen, 3.5 weeks has kind of been the average that someone is out with a punctured or collapsed lung. 3.5 weeks. So for them, that would lead them kind of walking right into the postseason. Fox Sports Radio, it's the Odd Couple. Rob Parker, Kelvin Washington on a funky flashback Friday. We got Casey Jacobson getting ready to join us, FS1 college football analyst, basketball, analyst, here coming up in just a few minutes as well. Looking forward to catching up with him. Tournament has been crazy already, Rob. A whole lot's been going on. Be sure to check out our brand new YouTube channel. And you can watch us live on YouTube right now. We simulcasting. Elijah's got us up there. All you got to do is search Odd Couple FSR, and you can watch us right on your phone, your laptop, however you may be watching us. So go check us out. Always greatly appreciated. Go check it out again. Odd Couple FSR. You can find us there on YouTube. Like, share, subscribe, all of that. We greatly appreciate it. All right, 877-99 on Fox. We're talking about Luka, and is he an MVP? And should he be considered in this race? Rob says absolutely not, which is crazy that it's just absolutely not. You can say, no, I get it. You know, I like this person, that player. The absolutely part is where I'm thrown off by that.
I'm black and white. That's all.
Well, okay, Mr. Black and White.
I don't play the middle. I'm telling you.
It's not about the middle. It's just I don't get that. The idea that he's not in the running is not to me. It's not a black or white thing. It's not I have to go 0-100 something.
I didn't say he wasn't in the running. I said I would not vote for him. What did you not hear?
Okay.
No, I'm asking you. What did you not hear? I did not.
No,
I said I wouldn't vote for him. I wouldn't vote for him with your vote. That's what I said. I didn't say he can't be considered or nobody else can consider. I said what I would do. I just don't. I never said he can't be considered. Who said that?
I'm saying that it's an asinine thought for you, I guess, is what's cracking me up. Like, as if he's not been incredible. The larger duration of this season, obviously the last whatever you want to go, he's been just out of this world.
I don't know, 3/4 of it, everybody told me the Lakers had no shot. What? That's your MVP? Okay.
Because nobody's looking, because you're looking at it from the Thunder.
He has LeBron,
someone shows us otherwise.
James and Austin, and they have no shot. That's all I heard for 3/4 of the season, that they have no shot.
But I don't look. I look at it less about that absolutely happens. People get MVPs and they're not necessarily going to win it. Like right now, the Thunder look like they'd be the favorites. They'd be most people picking. Obviously, the Spurs could say something. I think you would say Denver, which I don't say Denver, but the Celtics could say, hey, we've done it before. Don't sleep on us. So there's a handful of teams who legitimately can say, hey, don't forget about us. And I think, again, when I look at what the Lakers have been able to do, and really also, it's funny because I feel like if you took that name off, Lakers, and you put Nuggets, Suns, Clippers, Trailblazers, Timberwolves, anybody else, said you'd be third in an amazing West that's stacked, that would be almost like a compliment. Like, wow, we're third in the West behind the reigning champs who are just buzzsawing everybody. They've 10-0 in their last 10.
What part don't you understand?
I'm saying
that's not that your argument is not what I said. So I don't even understand why you continue with that. That you're making a case, and I ask you, given the field, would you vote for Luka Doncic for MVP? Yes or no? What would you do?
I'm voting right now for Wemby.
Okay, so he's not the MVP in your mind.
No, Wemby.
Okay, and that's what I said. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know how we're so different or so.
No, because I just told you.
I said I would never vote. I wouldn't vote for him.
I didn't say you didn't say. I'm saying you're making like it's an insane thought. That's the part I'm shocked about.
It is insane when you have 4 other guys who have had more impact on their teams. That's why. I mean, people can finish 5th, 6th, 7th for MVP. That doesn't mean that a handful of people might not think so. I think there are 4 people firmly ahead of him. And they would all have to fall off and then they always have to fall off the face of the earth in order for Luka to win. That's all I'm saying.
And that's where we, that's why we're the odd couple. That's where we disagree. I don't think it's just as if they're that far ahead of him. SGA, obviously, again, if you're him, you would say, well, why am I'm the reigning MVP, reigning finals MVP as well. My team is incredible. We're 55-15. So why am I not? So I absolutely see why he would say, and someone would say, well, what has he done to be knocked off that throne, if you will? And then you got a guy like Wemby who has been absolutely out of this world. And as we all like to see, some guys just don't have that ability to be as impactful as he is on both ends. That's what also makes it incredible too for what we're getting from Wemby. But
also. There's some news out of Milwaukee. The owner spoke on Giannis.
Yeah.
Rob G, do you have that? We might as well.
Yeah, so ESPN's Ramona Shelburne wrote a long-form piece on the Milwaukee Bucks, more so on the ownership situation they got going in there. And in the conversation, their owner, or I guess their chairman, however you want to phrase it nowadays, the governor, they call whatever you want to call it, exactly. Wes Edens told ESPN about Giannis and his future with the club. Quote, Giannis is going to the last year of his contract, so one of 2 things will happen. Either he will be extended or he'll be traded. The likelihood you let him just kind of play it out the last year, we can't afford that. It's not consistent with what's good for the organization. It's not a Giannis issue. That's for any player that's in their last year with us.
Which is sound organizational a process. I agree. Like those are one of the 2 things you could really do with Giannis, and that's why I don't think that all the talk. I know a lot of NBA people and fans want him to go somewhere else and just see what he could do somewhere else. But if you're Milwaukee, I think I would follow that plan as well.
I think it's them putting the onus back on him. Hey man, sign or not? We're not gonna keep going doing the waffling. Are you signing? Here, sign on the dotted now. Or else we got to move on. And that's how I heard it, Rob, because I think for them, again, now we have them outwardly, disagreeing on how to handle him. He says, I want to play no matter what. They're saying we need to shut this down. And I think for them, they just at a point where it's like, we're just not going to be on the same page. And so unless you're signing on, I think they're probably going to give him some ultimatum of a time date. We may not hear it, but if you're not going to sign on by X date, because we have to move on, because we have to do what's best for us organizationally, which is, boom, you signed on, great. We got one of the best players in the NBA for another 4 or 5 years, whatever it will be. Or we got to get the best we can get. We can't just go this whole time in lollygag. We want to get all the best assets we can for a guy of his talent. I think it sounds like to me they're just fed up, which I've been fed up with it for years. Just trade him, move on, or just lock in, and this is it. This is home for 4 or 5 years. All the waffling that he's done over the last year and a half to me is tiring. If I was a Buck fan, I'd be like, dude, we love you. It's okay. Move on. That's how
I don't have an issue. I don't think it's that easy. I think has an affinity there. When you win a championship somewhere, I think that's the part. If he hadn't won, maybe you'd have a point. He won there. He's idolized there. Milwaukee, Wisconsin? Really? With the Bucks? With no other big-time star? Like, you're a made man there. So I don't think it's that easy of a decision the way you see it. I really think it's harder for him. And I don't think he's like most guys. He's not from this country. He never runs with the other guys in the league. LeBron was trying to brainwash him, come work out with me and make him soft so that LeBron could have his way with him, and all that kind of stuff. And he refused
Stop it.
to
You act
do
like
it.
He's Draymond.
No, I'm just saying, that's what he did to Draymond. I mean, Draymond's mean to everybody except LeBron because LeBron.
Man, I ain't gonna lie, that's the funniest thing in the league,
true.
Rob. Like, he will put anybody in a headlock
except for LeBron. After he kicked
will
him
defend
in
LeBron too. It's really funny. All right,
it wasn't always like that. And that's what I'm saying.
Draymond. You too.
He wasn't saying that to LeBron though. Casey Jacobson on the other side. Right now, we got Steve DeSager getting you updated on what's trending. Hey, Steve.
Hello. First round NCAA tournament games getting underway this hour, including in just a minute or two, UCLA against UCF in Philadelphia. But for the Bruins, Tyler Bilodeau, 18 points a game, is still out with the sprained knee. Also about to start, 2-seed Purdue playing in St. Louis against Queens University. St. John's out to a 10-0 lead on Northern Iowa in the first 3 minutes. Iowa late first half leads 25-16 against Clemson. Among today's finals, 1 seed in the West, Arizona ripped Long Island 92-58. Then in San Diego, Utah State eliminated Villanova 86-76. A lot of finals from the Midwest region, including Kentucky somehow advancing in overtime 89-84 over Santa Clara, which hit a late 3 for the lead. But Otega Owe, who had 35 points, got the tying three-pointer at the buzzer from near half court at the end of regulation. And in St. Louis, Kentucky Wildcats go on to win. 2-seed Iowa State, 108-74 winners against Tennessee State. But for the Cyclones, Joshua Jefferson left early with an ankle injury. He averages 17 points a game. Tennessee eliminated Miami, Ohio, which was 32-1. 78-56 Vols the final. Virginia put away Wright State 82-73. Victories for Texas Tech and Alabama. The NIT second round starts Saturday night. Daytime Saturday, the second round of the NCAAs begins. Women's NCAA saw easy first-round victories today for Texas and Duke, for TCU, Maryland, Ole Miss, and Washington. Among the NBA news, Cleveland's Donovan Mitchell, questionable for Saturday with an eye injury. He missed last game. Pacers center Ivica Zubac is out for the season with a fractured rib. Anthony Davis of the Wizards will be reevaluated after this month with his finger injury. The Lakers' Austin Reeves, questionable with a sore hip this weekend. Joel Embiid of Philadelphia will be out again Saturday with an oblique injury. The Twins release veteran reliever Liam Hendricks. Toronto beat Minnesota at spring training 2-1 today. The win to Max Scherzer, 5 scoreless innings. Back to you.
All right, thank you so much, Steve. Appreciate it. It's the Odd Couple, Rob Parker, Kelvin Washington on a funky Flashback Friday. Professional wrestling fans, the action continues every week. The TNA Thursday night Impact every week. Don't miss the adrenaline, the drama, and the total nonstop action as you watch your favorite TNA wrestling stars. For showtimes and more information, visit TNAWrestling.com. Joined now by Casey Jacobson, FS1 college basketball analyst and knows a little something about playing in the tournament. And Stanford got busy there, got an Elite Eight. Also was, of course, the all tournament team as well. So, Casey, what's going on,
What's
man?
happening? How are you?
Calvin and Rob, it's really good to be with you guys. Best time of year, March Madness. We're marching. My Stanford team isn't marching right now, but everybody else is.
All right. Hey, we got to start with Hubert Davis in North Carolina and just, back-to-back first-round exits. Just where is the program? Is he in danger at all of them making a change there, or are they going to ride it out?
Well, Rob, it's a good question. I mean, if you're asking my opinion.
Yes, we want your opinion because you're on the radio with us.
Let me just start. I don't believe that North Carolina will fire him. I don't believe that will be the case. But if you're asking my opinion, I do believe he should be in deep trouble here. And the reason I say that is, can we all agree that North Carolina is a top 5 at minimum job? We could argue it's a top 3 job in college basketball. And while you can't find a person on the planet that doesn't think Hubert Davis is an awesome dude, like a really genuine person.
But that ain't even what we're talking about. I hate when we get there because it ain't about him being a nice person or a good father. It's about the job of basketball coach. That's all we're talking about.
I hear you. And so if we put that personal stuff aside, let's say that we agree that it's a top 5 job. Does North Carolina have a top 5 coach? The answer is no. And it's pretty clear. And so if you're that big of a job, you should feel like you have a top 5, at worst a top 10 coach at the helm there. And I don't think that he's proven that. They had one run to the national title game and honestly should have won the national championship.
Right. And who knows, with a better coach, they might have won.
You're right. I believe that they were up almost 20 points at halftime against Kansas before losing that game. So, but that's the most basic way I can describe it. When I have conversations with my coworkers, and my opinion is, All right, let's just close your eyes. Ask yourself, is North Carolina a top 5 job? If it is, do they have a top 5 coach? And almost everybody's like, no. So they need to go out. And I believe that they could almost call anybody, with the exception of maybe 3 or 4 coaches, would take that phone call. And so if that's where they're at, then they should do that.
Yeah, I mean, you're North Carolina. You figure you can get somebody great in that position. And if I'm – listen, based on how it's gone for him the last 3 or 4 years, if that's not fireable, I don't know what is. I'll switch gears here with you a little bit. I want to ask you about back when you were playing. Obviously, you were there. You were a 2-time All-American. You played. It was the era where still guys were staying 3, 4 years. So you had that camaraderie. You and your teammates, we know what it's like. We know how to play together. We had the ups and downs. We lost in the tournament. We won in the tournament. Do you think that is why it'll be more difficult for someone like a Hubert Davis, a coach, where gone are the days of North Carolina just getting the next 5, 6 amazing recruits? Guys are going all over the place. Devonta going to BYU, and he's a top guy. And you won't be so loaded year in, year out where you can always make these runs. You're not sticking together. Guys are transferring. Is it possible to have runs like we saw historically for the last 40, 50 years? Will that happen again?
Yes. Kelvin, it's a good question because I'm not going to deny that this is a different type of – like being a head coach today in 2026 is different than it was 10 years ago. However, I can rattle off a few coaches that are still doing it mostly traditionally. Kelvin Sampson at Houston, Tom Izzo at Michigan State, Mark Few at Gonzaga. These coaches are still recruiting high-level high school talent. They are still developing that talent year after year. And, yes, they occasionally go out and get transfers, but they are not turning over their roster every single year. Well, there are coaches out there that are still doing it like that and still have programs that I respect. So, I respect how everybody wants to run their program and how they have to do it. I get all that. But let's not say that there's only one way now to coach and build a program. That's just not true.
I want to ask you about Michigan State takes on Louisville tomorrow. And Tom Izzo, it's been a long ride. He last won a national championship in 2000. Here we are in 2026. Is he due? Is it ever going to happen again? Because I've been waiting for a long time. And I know he's already in the Hall of Fame, and everybody loves Coach Izzo. But, man, it's been some drought.
Well, it's been a drought for everybody in the Big Ten, Rob. So you want to call out Tom Izzo for not winning a national title in a long time. How about the rest of the Big Ten? No one's been able to do it. Not Matt Painter.
But Izzo, I'm just saying he's in the Hall of Fame, off the one championship. Those other guys aren't in the Hall of Fame. The Michigan State and Izzo thing, I think people thought by now he would have 2 or 3.
We know you didn't, Rob.
I know I didn't, but.
So I would just push back, Rob, because so you're saying Tom Izzo is in the Hall of Fame because of one national championship. I would say he's in the Hall of Fame because of one national championship and 8 Final Four appearances. That matters in our sport. Only one team can cut down the nets, and I would just argue that I'm a big Tom Izzo fan. I believe he's a bona fide Hall of Famer still today. He gets more. He's gotten to teams that didn't have talent that I thought was like good enough to get to a Final Four. This Michigan State team, with all due respect, is not like scary. Jeremy Fears is definitely a top 5 point guard in the country, arguably top 10 player. But Jackson Kohler, Carson Cooper, Cohen Carr.
So he's not a good recruiter? Is that it?
No.
I'm asking. You're saying that the team's not that good, right?
What I am saying is Tom Izzo recruits pretty good players, but very rarely is he getting McDonald's All-Americans year after year. And yet,
do you think that's intentional? Do you think he's doing it so that, I got guys, like I said earlier, who will stick around a handful of years?
Yeah. I actually do think that that's intentional. I've been interviewing Kelvin Sampson. I'm out here in Oklahoma City right now covering the NCAA tournament.
Okay.
I'm talking with Kelvin Sampson. He is the same way. Kelvin says, hey, I'm going to recruit a McDonald's All-American, but he's got to have a certain personality. He's got to be willing to be coached hard. But I don't want a bunch of them. I'll take one if I know him and I know his family and where he's coming from. Otherwise, no, I will pass on a 5-star. I'll go get a 4-star or a 3-star that I know can win, that I know can play in my system. So, yeah, there are coaches out there that do that.
But, Casey, here's my issue with that. That's the ultimate ego because it takes talent to win. Even Coach K went into the one-and-done pool in order to stay relevant and still win and took Kyrie Irving for 11 games or whatever it was. My point is, Okafor, the same thing. Like that to me is adapting to what's happening in your sport and not getting caught up in ego. You need talent. I remember when when Tom Izzo lost? Who was it at Ford Field? Was that North Carolina? Who'd they lose to?
Yeah, that was North Carolina.
You remember that, Casey, that championship? That was one where I remember it was over in 5 or 6 minutes because one team had 3 future NBA players and one team didn't. And I'm just asking, in this day and age, can you really afford to do that?
Yeah, I think you can. I think you can afford to do that. Look, let's give an example of like when Dan Hurley won their first of back-to-back national titles. They weren't loaded with McDonald's All-Americans. They developed their players, and they had I believe it was Jordan Hawkins ended up being a NBA player, but Adama Sanogo was a 3-year guy, developed year after year. Donovan Clingan was young. I believe Donovan Clingan was a freshman. Now he's in the NBA, but we were not saying that Donovan Clingan was going to be a one and done. He wasn't. He wasn't that. Alex Caravan is a role player. They won a national championship, and then the next year they did it again, and they had Stephon Castle, who's a lottery pick. No, he's a total stud.
Okay,
but that roster, Rob, was not loaded with first rounders. It just wasn't, and he developed guys. So, I'm not denying. I don't want to be involved in any conversation where I'm saying, "Hey, talent doesn't matter." I'm just saying that there are many different ways to build a roster in today's college basketball, and Tom Izzo's way may not be Tommy Lloyd's way at Arizona or John Shire's way at Duke, and there's room for all of it. And I think we'll see who wins the national title this year. I think it's going to be Michigan, and tell me how many McDonald's All-Americans they have on their roster.
Okay.
I don't believe it's many.
Yeah, we'll get back to that. If you're right, I'd love to have you on. If you're wrong, I'd love to have you on even more. How's that?
That's so Rob of you.
Casey, love it. Thank you, my man.
Casey, appreciate it.
All right, guys. Good luck to your brackets. We're all going to need it.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Well, mine is all right. Mine has become something to shoot a jump shot into the trash with. Appreciate you, Casey. Thank you. As I wanted to also shoot, man, there's a bunch of freshmen that have been struggling or the teams are out, Rob. It's been interesting to watch so far. And some close games. That Kentucky game, you heard Steve talking about it a little earlier. It's been a crazy tournament. Well, Shakle City on the way, plus your tire rack play of the day as well. We'll do it next. It's the Odd Couple on a Funky Flashback Friday. Stick with your boys, Fox Sports Radio.
That's right. Matt Leinart said earlier this week on his podcast with Jerry Ferrara from Entourage called The Throwback Show that over the years, not under the Lincoln Riley era, but over the years since he's been out of football, the USC football program has approached him several times about having his number 11 jersey unretired to give it to a recruit. And Leinart, to his credit, said on his podcast, no. Hell no, I ain't doing that. More specifically, here's what he said. Absolutely effing not. I'm never going to unretire for some random dude who, by the way, now could wear number 11 and then transfer after a year. Said the only way I'd ever unretire my jersey at USC is for one of my sons if they happen to make it that far and they play ball for the Trojans.
All right, Matt Leinart didn't make a lot of great decisions in college, especially going back when he was going to be the number 1 overall pick. I still say that's the craziest.
You keep saying it.
Because I've never heard of anybody who was going to be the number 1 pick out of college who wanted to go back to college and then drop to, what did he go, 10th?
10th, 11th,
10th, 11th, somewhere like that. The next year which I just like the number one pick, and you play your whole life, and you're going to be the number one pick. You rolled the dice. You could have got hurt. So many different things could happen. But finally, Matt Leinart made the right decision. I'm not giving up my number. Once they retire your number, it should stay retired. There was a player for the New York Giants, right?
Oh yeah, Carter. He wanted to get.
He wanted Lawrence Taylor.
Lawrence Taylor. Carter.
Like if I'm the Giants, do not make a quote for the paper. Do not ask for Lawrence Taylor's phone number. Like, can you stop? I don't care if you wore up 56 in high school or what. This is Lawrence Taylor of the New York Football Giants. Read the room. Matt Leinart, you say all you want. That was a machine, that team, right? Yes. No, Matt Leinart, I'm with him. Right? Some people have said it was the greatest team ever in college football. And he's supposed to give up his number to somebody who might stay for a couple of years, might be bouncing around, who might be 47 years old. I'm not doing it. I'm not messing up my legacy. I'm not giving my number out. And you could be like the Yankees. And guess what? Aaron Judge is wearing number 99 for a reason because they got a million numbers retired. Pick another number.
You know who I'm mad at in all of this? I'm mad at USC, Rob G. You just mentioned it. The idea that you allow someone to keep pressuring you, then you pressure Matt. Hey, Matt, how's the family? How's everything going? Hey, real quick, I was wondering if you give up your number again. We're asking again. That, to me, that's insulting to Matt Leinart and all that he did for that school. Matt Leinart had that school lit for about 3-4 year run. Obviously, you had the Carson Palmer before him. They kind of had a nice stretch there with Pete Carroll. But my point is, man, and that's part of the reason why, to Rob's always point, since I've been here, we've talked about it a handful of times, that's why he didn't want to leave. They were this singular football team in Los Angeles. He was already in the NFL. This is peak pre-social media, so you can still go to parties and wild out and not going to be on the phone and, somebody putting him out there, him and Reggie and Lindale White and all those people on those teams, they got to go hang out and be stars and rock stars in L.A. So that's why he was like, shoot, I am the L.A. Trojans. So he felt like he was in the league. And I just don't understand why they would even ask him. Because you know what else it does, Robs, both of y'all? Every time you ask, it puts me on the spot to have to look like, quote-unquote, a jerk or something, or an old head or a hater. And not that I'm saying everybody thinks that, because we all seem to be on the same page in agreement. But it's just you keep asking me, now I have to be that guy again. You know I'm not going to do that. I get the first ask if they felt the need. Hey, we got this great recruit. We're teetering on getting it between him coming here or going to Oklahoma. But, boy, if he said he can have that number 11, he would do it. Like, all right, I get the first ask. After that, what are we doing? Because now you're making me have to be the bad guy, perceptionally maybe for some people, repeatedly. So I'm mad more at the university for even asking him. He worked too hard to earn that respect. Clearly, it's not like he's going in the NFL Hall of Fame where he could say, maybe I'll just focus on that one more. So leave him alone and don't ask him again. He's absolutely right. And I'm to your last point you were saying, Rob, I'm kind of appalled that kids keep asking. It's one thing if you're the new guy on a team and you want to pay, hey, here's $50,000. I heard Rob Parker wears number 10. I want number 10. But you're a current player. Hey, Rob, here's $50,000. If you don't mind, I'll get your jersey. You say, all right, cool, I'll swap numbers with you because you're playing actively, not someone who's a legend and retired.
Well, what's the point on retiring a number if you're going to issue it out again? And I do blame the schools. And the same thing, like numbers, they even know. Like even before Derek Jeter's number goes to Hall of Fame is going to be retired at Yankee Stadium.
You already know.
That number, the equipment manager takes that out of circulation. No, the new young shortstop can't have number 2. It ain't happening.
The Odd Couple, Rob Parker, Kelvin Washington, Funky Flashback Friday. Again, thank you to Casey Jacobson. Just joined us a bit ago. Rob G will get that up on the podcast. Talk some good NCAA tournament.
That'll
Rob,
be the
you
last
never let
time
me
he comes
down.
on the Odd Couple, the way you.
Why? Because he picked Michigan? Is that why he picked Michigan?
Yeah, I'm just saying.
No. First of all, I'm dying laughing that you still brought up Izzo. I'm telling you, I don't know what I want to see more. You and Izzo in the elevator together, or Michael Jordan and Isaiah Thomas in the elevator together?
No, that would be better because mine would be a mismatch. So I don't think that's that.
I love it. Talk that talk, my guy. I love it. All right, it is now time for Shakle City.
Welcome to Shakle City, the home base for Rob Parker's daily picks against the spread.
Did I do that? Did I do that? Is right.
Did I do that?
2-1 last night. We're 83-51.
Ooh, I can't even hate. I can't hate.
2-1, 83-51 as Shakle City continues to roll. We are there. Yes, we are. Appreciate it.
Did I do that?
Hey, I hope you've been following me. Yes, here we go. I did do that. Minnesota -2.5. They're hosting the Portland Trail Blazers. That's the best bet. I got the Nuggets -6.5. They're taking on the Raptors in Denver. And the Celtics -15.5 are in Memphis taking on the Grizzlies. Here we go again. Celtics -15.5. Denver -6.5. And the T-Wolves -2.5. And remember, I'm not telling you who to bet on. I'm telling you who I bet on.
You might need to start telling people who to bet on the way you've been going right now. And my gosh, these spreads are insane.
This is how bad the NBA is.
Jeez, oh, Pete's -15, -12, -6, all that.
There's like a double digits, 4 or 5 games every night.
Every night. That's crazy. Like, that should not be. Like, okay, 6, 7, I get it. You're better teams, 7, 8 points. Okay. 10, 12, 16, 18 is absolutely crazy. All right, also now it's time for your tie rack play of the day.
Kentucky the other way. Oway for the tie. Puts it in for 35 feet. Otega always saves the day for Kentucky. He banks it in from 35.
That was absolutely remarkable. Kentucky would come back to win that game. That was incredible to watch. Westwood won right there on the call. Your Tire Rack play of the day was brought to you by Tire Rack for over 40 years. Tire Rack's been helping customers find the right tires for how, for what, and for where they drive, ship fast and free. Backed by free road hazard protection. They'll come to you, by the way. They have mobile tire installation. So check them out at TireRack.com. It is the way tire buying should be. Rob G, we lost a legend in Hollywood today.
Yeah, man, tough scene for all parties involved. The late, great Chuck Norris passed away earlier today. One of the greatest, if not the greatest, martial arts / action stars in the history of Hollywood in this country.
I always thought it was weird because he has a hairpiece, doesn't he? Or he
That's
did.
I don't know.
No, to be a martial arts guy with a hairpiece. I'm just saying.
There's no way. There's no way.
Rob,
the first thing
caution.
you bring up is
Rob,
the man's hair.
caution.
The man just passed. The man had been in 172
Don't get
movies.
fired.
He had a TV show for a long time. Was a Texas Ranger. He did all this stuff, and the first thing you talk about is that man's hairpiece. I'm scared. Roger, you know what I just realized? Alex too. Elijah, I'm scared when we go. It ain't gonna be, man, I knew Kelvin for so long. Then I had the honor of doing a show with him. It's gonna be something crazy.
No,
something wild. You know, Rob
the only
G,
reason
man.
I brought it up is to be a martial arts guy, and where you know what I mean. You got to do all kinds of stuff, and you got a hairpiece.
So then at least compliment and say it is one of the more amazing hair pieces of all time. It's stuck on his head for 50 years while he was kicking butt
I'm
for
sorry.
50 years.
I didn't mean it like that. That's the first
Rob
thing
G,
I thought of.
he interrupted your eulogy.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Of an American legend.
My favorite part about Chuck Norris, other than the jokes, which there are plenty, did you know his real name is Carlos?
Why you have such affinity for
I didn't know. I had no idea. Just like Charlie Sheen's real name is Carlos.
Yeah, I did know that about Charlie
Charlie
Sheen.
Sheen's, they're what's their real last name?
Estevez.
Estevez.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And what about Chuck Norris? Or what's his real name?
His real name is Carlos.
Carlos
Ray Norris.
Okay. And where was he born? New Mexico?
He was born, according to this, in Hawaii.
Okay.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie. Carlo Ray Norris sound like that's a brother from the South. Carlos Ray Norris? Carlos Ray. Anytime you put a Ray, you know how we do, Rob. We put a Ray on something. Go see Jimmy Ray. Go say Sugar Ray. We gonna Ray it up. But yeah, he obviously one of my favorite things was that Enter the Dragon. Him and Bruce Lee, they fought on that island. That was one of my favorites one there. And Rob G, read a couple of the funny little sayings.
Real quick, Chuck Norris does not wear a watch because he decides what time it is. Chuck Norris once visited the Virgin Islands. They are now just called the Islands. Chuck Norris can believe it's not butter. Chuck Norris cannot turn left because he is always right.
He's always right.
That's right. And Chuck Norris does not tip the waiter. The waiter tips Chuck Norris.
Hey, man. Rest in peace to a legend. We got to talk about another guy who's doing legendary stuff in the NBA. We'll tell you who it is next. It's the Odd Couple. You know what time it is. It's your boys.
Let's get it. The Odd Couple is fun.
Check.
And informative.
Check.
What's up, America? You want to talk sports with 1.5 of the best-looking guys in the game?
That game was incredible.
You are wrong.
You'll be king of the water cooler.
What's it like working with Rob? Rob in his mind is like Chris Rock mixed with Richard Pryor, so I'm running out of fake laughs. Ha ha, Rob. Rob is very passionate.
Son, you ain't ready for this. Well, I don't have BS in my game. I'm straightforward. I'm honest.
You say Brady's the greatest quarterback of all time, but Eli Manning beat him twice.
And, of course, it doesn't hurt that I'm right most of the time. Kelvin is the nice guy, wants to make everybody feel warm and fuzzy.
You done? Let me tell you the truth. I bring the energy, a youthful energy. Rob's not gonna see this, is he? And I bring an honest opinion.
Michael Jordan, I can't take it anymore. I need a break. I'm gonna go play baseball.
Trash Talking Tuesday is the best.
It's a great opportunity for folks to call in and they get to trash whomever.
Who you trashing, Roger?
I'm trashing LeBron James and Michael Jordan.
Oh, okay.
They can't even hold Wilt Chamberlain's shoes.
Stop talking about the king like that. It's a new era. Let LeBron be the best, please.
I only recognize one king in the United States, and that's Burger King.
The connection with the Odd Couple audience is incredible. We really invite them in.
And they can relate, whether it be things about our own personal lives or our takes on sports.
Love you guys. You guys are killing it.
Hey, we appreciate you. Thank you for rocking with your boys. They feel like it's just my guys, just my friends, and they join right in on the show.
We talk with the listeners, not at them.
Obviously, you can listen to us live, but you can still check out the podcast. You can check out our YouTube. You can check us out on social media. So in any way you want to get it, you can get it.
Yes.
There's some yelling. It is some hot takes. It's a whole lot of fun. I'll give you that.
It is fun.
I agree. Begrudgingly.
The Odd Couple.
Sports talk that's too good and too fun.
In the NCAA tournament's first round, UCLA leads 26-16 against UCF, even though the Bruins' Tyler Bilodeau is still out with a knee injury. St. John's up 32-13 over Northern Iowa. Still about 8 minutes to go in the first half. 2-seed Purdue leads Queens University 28-19. And early second half, it's Iowa ahead of Clemson 35-25. Among the daytime finals, Kentucky in overtime beats Santa Clara 89-84. Otega Oweh 35 points, including the tying three-pointer at the buzzer from near half court at the end of regulation. Iowa State and Tennessee with wins, Virginia and Texas Tech as well. Alabama 90-70 over Hofstra. Victories for Arizona and for Utah State, which eliminated Villanova 86-76. In the NBA, Nets out to a lead on the Knicks 14-10 late first quarter. I'm Steve DeSager.
Can this sports writer and this sports fan share a radio show without driving each other crazy? Now, live from the Fox Sports Radio studios, here's Fox Sports Radio's Odd Couple, Rob Parker and Kelvin Washington.
Number 2 on this funky Flashback Friday. Rob Parker, Kelvin Washington here on Fox Sports Radio. Be sure to check out the brand new YouTube channel that we have. That's right. You can watch us live right now on the channel. Simulcast, hear us on the radio. You can listen to us to see the video. Just search Odd Couple FSR on YouTube. Again, that's Odd Couple FSR. Be sure to subscribe and hit the thumbs up icon. You can also comment about the show, all that stuff. Just search Odd Couple FSR and subscribe. In about 28 minutes, Joel Berry II will be joining us, of course, 2017 NCAA championship champion, I should say, and ACC Network analyst. So we'll do that and much more. Busy hour here in hour number 2.
That's right. We were talking about it earlier, Rob, what you got, whether you Luka MVP or not. I think a lot of people would say the leader is SGA. His team has been incredible, the reigning champs. And Rob G, he's been having a conversation about the free throw merchant that they call him and the success of his team. He has some thoughts on that.
That's right. Chris Mannix from Sports Illustrated did a nice little feature on SGA and his team, really, on Friday. And, they are the best team in the league. No matter what I say about the Lakers, they are the defending champions. They are the prohibitive favorites to win it again. And SGA is the prohibitive favorite to go back-to-back with the MVP. But in the feature, Mannix asked SGA about, the perception about him around the league. The idea that he's the free throw merchant, that he doesn't play ethical basketball, so on and so forth. And SGA had some thoughts on it. Here, I'm going to read some of these quotes here. Quote, I understand why fans are frustrated about it because they're an X, Y, and Z fan. They're playing against us, and in the past couple of years, we happen to beat their team. And we beat their team because we scored more points. And we scored more points at the free throw line, in the mid-range, the three-point, everything. So I completely understand why they're frustrated. And then Mannix pressed him later about the negative commentary surrounding his style of play specifically. SGA says, quote, everybody in the history of the NBA has an arc where everybody loves them and everybody hates them. LeBron James was hated, and look what he's done for the game. It's part of the game. I love it. It's stuff I dreamed about as a kid.
You know what? And he went on to talk about some other things. It was a good read. I'll tell you what I liked about this. What I like about it is he talked about the fact that he understands this stuff is good because he himself is going to become the villain. People are going to write, it was a couple years ago, man, I can't believe the Clippers got rid of him. He's so nice. Man, look, I'll give up Paul George any day for him. Oh, wow. Now they're having success. People don't like the way he plays. We see him on national TV more. Obviously, we saw him in the finals. And so now it becomes he's a free throw merchant, or I don't like this, I don't like that about him. And what I like is the fact whether you love him or hate him, he embraces this opportunity. He embraces this hero arc, if you will. He embraces that if you live long enough, the hero lives long enough, you become the villain. And that he knows this is good ultimately for the NBA, because when they come into town, you're going to go watch them, boo them, hate them, or obviously you may love them, love him, love the team. And if they keep being good as they have been, then they start to be in a deep postseason run. They start to be in the finals, Rob. And one of the things we may start to get is some great rivalries again. We might get Denver and Thunder have another 6-game, 7-game series. We might get him and the Thunder versus Spurs 2 or 3 times over the next few years. We might get them against the Celtics, or maybe it's the Pistons for the next few years. So to me, he understood that. He mentioned that in this article, that I know what comes with this territory. Winning a lot, it breeds a little hate, a little envy, also a little love and praise from people. It also allows for us to have some rivalries. And at the end of the day, all of this is good for the NBA. And I just love kind of where we've start to trend towards, where the teams are playing hard again. Teams are competitive. We had a handful, Rob, you might recall, we had a handful of weeks where it was dag near a fight every other game. So I like where it's going. And the best thing about it, again, is whether you like or love him or hate him, that he fully understands this. I mean, LeBron James talked about how he struggled that first year with Miami when for the first time in his life, he had the black hat, right? When the first time in his life, he was getting a negative criticism, right? Because when he grew up as a high schooler, it was like, wow, look at this phenom coming. Got the league, wow, he could be the future of the league. It just chose to leave. That's when the hate started, and he didn't know how to handle that. He wasn't prepared. He admitted it. I tried to wear the black hat. I didn't like it. It wasn't me. I tried to be mean to the media, mean to fans, and it wasn't me, he said. SGA knows that comes with the territory. So I think that's great that this team know it. They're prepared for it. And to me, it leads to a better version of the NBA as we move forward, Rob.
Yeah, I don't agree. I don't think anybody hates SGA. They might not like his style of play. He's just not. What bad guy is he? He's a guy from Canada who doesn't say anything. What? How could he be a bad guy? Yeah, you don't like his style of play. You might not be. I just don't see him moving the needle on most nights in the NBA, other than that they're talented, they keep winning, and he scores 20 points every night. I don't hear the conversation. Is there a conversation that I'm missing about him?
No, I don't. I think a great example is
I'm just saying.
You brought up Luka. A lot of people, Luka, on one end, if you're just a person who fell from Mars, you would be like, what? Why don't people like this guy? This dude's he's insane. He makes a bunch of shots. He scores 40 a game. But people talk about he always going to free throw line, always calling for fouls. Or James Harden was MVP candidate or MVP winner for years, and always drawing fouls. Like once you start winning, once you start having a lot of big time primetime games, and you're winning a lot, we start to have reasons to nitpick. And I agree with you. I don't think he's dislikable as a human being.
Yeah, I don't see the buzz for him. Even after that, people respect that he won. Even last year, he won. People don't like his style of game. At the free throw line, there's all that. Even players are talking about that. But I don't know if there's any venom or any kind of pushback on him. This idea of being a villain in the NBA or something because he's winning, I'm not sure. I think he'd have to win a lot.
Oh,
I
agree. I think it's coming. I agree.
If they don't win this year, I say they don't win this year. I just don't like. People will be like, "Oh, that was great. Look at what they did." SGA maybe wins another MVP, but they don't win. Then I don't know where that conversation goes from there. Do you know what I mean? I really don't.
Only thing I would challenge that is I agree with the sentiment, except I would say they don't have to win it. I think even if they make a deep playoff run, we saw him for first round, second round, say a Western Conference Final, say they lose to the Spurs or Denver, however it would work out. But if we saw 2-3 rounds of what people call unethical ball, here's another point. Rob G, you may recall what they were saying about the Thunder. I was listening to some shows today. People are like, oh, if you want to see some basketball that gets a little dirty, they were fouling Jokic and the Nuggets and the way they were playing their style. Once you start winning, once we start to see that right now, it becomes, they only win because they foul. They only win because they play a little dirty. Or they only win because of that. Or they only win because it gets a free throw. I agree, Rob. I think another deep playoff run is where it starts. I think we're a little too early. I think you start to hear the noise, start to hear the grumblings. One more deep playoff run, let alone a championship, then I think it starts to become a thing. He only scores because of this. He only does that. Man, they only beat Denver. They only beat the Spurs because they were fouling Wemby. Look how they were getting up under Wemby. Man, that's dirty. I think that's when it starts to happen. But I do agree, another deep playoff run. I don't think it has to be a championship. That's where I'll disagree. But a deep playoff run, I think you'll hear louder murmurs of that.
Yeah. I just, like a villain, he's just a nice guy to me. Just people don't like the way he plays. And, it takes 2 seconds to change his game. And it would be interesting to see if that happened. The same way they
he ain't changing.
No, not him. The league.
Oh, I got you.
And the way that they did with James Harden. In the playoffs, they wouldn't give him that little, you know what I mean, where he used to get all the fouls. And in the playoffs, they would make him have to earn his baskets. And that changed everything. If you look at James Harden was always looking for the call that he used to get during the regular season. If they decided to do that one time or this postseason with SGA, I think that would change things. And then I would like to see where he is not going to the free throw line that often. You know what I mean? In a playoff run.
Well, I think skill-wise, I mean, his mid-range is a beautiful – it's a thing of the past.
I'm not saying he can't do that, but I'm just saying he does get a lot of free throws.
Oh, without a doubt. I think him, Luka, Embiid when he's healthy, Joker. There's a handful of Giannis. There's a handful of guys who take full advantage of that. Peak Harden, obviously, he's not the same guy anymore. They take Cade Cunningham actually takes for a guard, for a wing, for not a huge player. He takes advantage of that. Let me ask you this, Rob. We have Jaylen Brown, who's talked about him recently, kind of in disgust. We've had coaches who talk about it, who've talked about him personally. What do you make of that? Where it's one thing of me and you, this is what we do, right? This is what we get up here every day. We talk about stuff. It's one thing for debate TV shows, one thing for guys in the barbershop. But what do you make of players actually speaking about it? When you got, again, Jaylen Brown, just quote him, he said, I just don't foul bait. I'm not looking to flop or anything like that, but it's almost like you got to. So it's like we commend players for playing the game the right way, but we give the benefit to those who necessarily who are trying to manipulate the game. So that's just to read what he said. You got Mike Brown, of course, of the Knicks. He said SGA does a great job of convincing referees that convincing, by the way, that he's getting hit. So what do you make of that? Just it's one thing if you and I are talking about it, but more so the league itself and coaches and players.
Yeah, I don't see it as like sour grapes. I just see it as the idea that, it's a style of play that they've seen him get an advantage, and the number of free throws and all that kind of stuff. So I understand. If you're a purist or you like the game or whatever, it's hard to watch. It's hard. You would just hope that people are shot makers. You remember that NBA Finals when Dwayne Wade got 1 million free throws against Dallas?
06. Yep,
yeah,
06.
I mean, am I right? Like that was ugly. It was terrible. People really hated it, and you couldn't touch Dwayne Wade if you remember.
That's a fair point. People brought it up then and still do.
Yeah, they brought that up. It was like, what is this? And that is when you consider. Remember, Dallas won the first 2 games of that series, and then all of a sudden, the refereeing changed, and they had no shot.
You know what? Let me throw another guy in here who I have to admit, I feel this way. I see him, and I get frustrated watching him play. Maybe you and Rob G, may agree or disagree, but Jalen Brunson's in that category too. Like, I get it. Luka. By the way, Luka, SGA shoots fewer free throws than Luka, and also Denny Avita as well. He shoots less than those guys, just to give some context to other wing players. But Jalen Brunson has some of that game too, where it's like, all right, Jalen, like just get a bucket or just shoot it, or what are we doing here, trying to bait and foul? So I do think there are a handful of guys who just acknowledge and realize, if I can get 10 attempts, I'm gonna make 8 of them. That's 8 points, and then I'll figure out the rest. And also getting guys in foul trouble. I just think they use it to their advantage. But I understand aesthetically it can be kind of ugly at times, because I feel that way. For me, the main guy when I watch is Jalen Brunson. He does it a lot. But a smaller player, I get it. He almost, I won't say has to, but it's definitely something that he uses to his advantage when you watch him play.
All right, 877-99 on Fox, 877-996-6369. Is SGA one of the villains of the NBA, and do you think he's good for the league? 877-99 on Fox. It is The Odd Couple. Right here on Fox Sports Radio, where we deliver insight, not noise. Rob Parker, Kelvin Washington, and you know what you need to do. Stick and stay.
Unless you're an SGA fan of the US of A.
All right, by the way, every sports season is built on preparation. Rob G, your Lakers got a couple of good wins against the Rockets, and now some issues with the Rockets.
Yeah, it's not looking good if you're a Houston fan. Houston, we have a problem. Now, this time last week, they got blitzed by damn near 40 points by the Denver Nuggets. Then they come in, have a two back-to-back home games, a baseball series against the Lakers. Monday night, Kevin Durant couldn't dribble the ball to save his life, had 7 turnovers after the game, says, I am the offense. I got to get this stuff straightened out, whether it's space in the floor, dunker spot, whatever. So they come back last night in what is clearly the biggest game of their season because, when you're so tightly bunched like that in the Western Conference, every win right now matters against the team you're going head-to-head with in the standings. They're down double digits early. They fight all the way back, and they find a way to lose there again. Luka Doncic goes nuclear in the last 4 or 5 minutes. And late in the game, cameras caught the Houston Rockets huddle. Not a single person speaking. Everybody staring off blankly into space. It just looked like the vibes are bad currently in Houston.
Because they didn't take care of business, which is they never replaced the point guard.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just amazed at it. And they go and get Durant. You know what I mean? They go put this team. Everybody thought, oh, my God, you add Durant to that team? Look what they did last year without him. You're going to add this kind of a shooter and scorer, like they're going to be a tough out. And now it looks like Kevin Durant, again, no matter where he goes, something doesn't work out. He went to Phoenix. Everybody said, oh, man, are you kidding? They went to the NBA Finals without him. Now they're going to add KD. You're not going to be able to stop them. Look at all the score. Let's go get Bradley Beal, too. You won't be able to stop them. They'll be able to score so many points. That didn't work out. It's just amazing. And maybe because his carpet bag that he puts down is in the way on the court because he's just been everywhere. And it just blocks stuff because and this could be bad, again, for Kevin Durant. Because now you'll be at this point where everywhere you go, and I'm not acting like the injury is not a part of the equation, but it doesn't matter. The bottom line is he's been bouncing from team to team to team to team, and everywhere he goes, they don't reach their potential. Something goes wrong. Something is amiss. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that is going to be the lasting thing that you think about Kevin Durant, especially. It's just I said it before. Kevin Durant is Raggedy Andy. You've heard of Raggedy Andy.
Raggedy Andy and Raggedy Andy?
Raggedy Andy. Like, that's what his track after leaving Golden State has been. Raggedy like the 405.
Dang. They working on it, though, Rob?
Like the 10 back in Detroit.
Okay.
The Lodge.
Ooh, the Lodge. Ooh, okay. What was the worst?
It's bad. Or like the
You're on a roll. What else we got?
Long Island Expressway in New York is bad.
Yeah, I don't know that one. Oh, yeah. I've been on it, but I couldn't recall.
There's too many freeways,
yeah, too many
highways over there. All right, but you get my point.
I do get your point. Well, I look at it like this. Couple things. One, we all knew Fred Van Vliet's absence was going to be big.
But they didn't do anything.
That's what makes me mad. Meaning you got the whole first half of the season to see what's what, who steps up. They got Shepard. A lot of people are high on him, and he's good. He's had some, but he's not Fred Van Vliet. And then towards the trade deadline, you thought, all right, well, obviously guys are playing well. Depending on what week it was, you were third or fourth or third in the standings. But what help you needed. You knew what you needed. You needed a scorer. You needed a guy, by the way, a shooter. We talk about the Pistons. They could use some perimeter shooting too. They're kind of similar to the Pistons, and they got all the athletes you want. Guys play hard, and they got their KD as a scorer. He's not Cade Cunningham at this point in his career, but they have something similar where they need some outside shooting. They need another bucket, and they never did it. And this isn't 27, 28-year-old KD where you can say, well, we got 3-4 more years, whatever. Like, you can't waste a year with KD and this team because KD is, again, at this age, you never know what you're going to get. So to me, you don't want to waste a year with Kevin Durant when you have an opportunity to compete. Now, maybe you weren't going to beat the Thunder, maybe you weren't going to beat the Spurs or Denver, but you never know, right? And maybe one of them knocks each other out or something crazy happens. So you're supposed to be in there and having a chance to get to the finals. Now, I say that to say, if I'm Houston, I'm also saying, Kelvin, Rob G, chill, relax. Because you know who you don't have that same energy for, Rob G and Rob Parker? The Denver Nuggets. The Denver Nuggets, currently as we sit here, are 6th. They're behind the Rockets. And, you would be thinking, hey, like, they're not getting it. Nobody's talking about them. Everybody says, hey, you never know. Denver could give somebody a run, and Denver could do this. So I would be saying, we're fine. Let's find our groove. Let's get something going in order to, because at this point you can't get in. There's nobody out there you can replace Fred with. But that would be the silver lining. Would think you're a game or two away from jumping all the way back to 3rd. The Lakers are currently 3rd. But as Rob G mentioned, the West is so tight. I mean, you lose a game, you win 3 games in a row, you can go from 3rd to 7th. So you're still in this thing. Steph Curry recently, obviously, he's going through it right now. He's got what they're calling runners. Fox Sports Radio, Odd Couple, Rob Kelvin on a Funky Flashback Friday. And by the way, with the iHeartRadio app, you can stream us wherever you happen to be. You can catch us in all of our Fox Sports Radio shows live 24/7. And the new and improved iHeartRadio app. Just search Fox Sports Radio in the app to stream us all day, every day. And to be sure to select Fox Sports Radio as one of your presets in the iHeart app, so it's always going to pop up right there, top of the screen for you. Rob, we got Joel Berry, the second, coming up. 2017 NCAA champ and MOP, most outstanding player, ACC Network analyst. Good to chop it up with him in about 6 or 7 minutes. Looking forward to that. All right, 877-99 on Fox. SGA, a lot of people have issues with his quote-unquote unethical ball, free throw merchant. Some people don't have a problem with it, think he's great, and has been a great player for the league. And could he possibly be a villain? That's what we're asking. 877-99 on Fox. Rob, let's take some calls. Who we got?
Let's start with Brandon in Riverside. You're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Brandon? How are you?
I'm good, guys. What's going on, man? What's good?
What's up, B?
Man, I'm just surviving this heat. That's all I'm doing.
I know.
But I agree. Like, I don't think he's a bad guy. Like, he doesn't have that. I mean, he doesn't say a lot of things out of place. So I don't think he's like a bad guy as far as that. I know a lot of teams get irritated at how the way he plays, as far as how the way he rage bait. But I agree with what I think Steve Kerr said something about a week ago. He said it's not an SGA. He's a great player. It's a league problem.
Right.
And like you all said, once you get into the playoffs, then all of a sudden you stop, because that's how they almost lost like 2 series last playoffs, because they wasn't giving him all those calls, and they actually had to go out and win some of those games. And they went to 2 Game 7s last year with the Pacers,
right,
and Denver. So I think it's more of a league problem with that. As far as I don't think he has that image as a bad guy like that. Like Luka has it more because Luka scores rapidly and cries a lot. He doesn't cry. He go out there, he plays his game, try to play the best defense, and yeah, he does get a lot of calls, but it's usually 1 or 2 players every year that gets like a bunch of calls. But I'm gonna just hang up and listen to you guys. Thank you.
All right, Brandon, appreciate it.
I think shout out to Brandon for the call. I think also with Luka, we saw it last night, Rob. Luka's gonna go at the crowd. He gonna mother lover this, blank that, blank you, blank your mama. Like Luka also will go at. I love it just because it's competitive. He's into it, but I can understand why people. It's a little bit of Luka will go at it with players or with fans, and I think that adds to a little bit of the Luka lure.
All right, 877-99 on Fox. Drew in New Jersey. You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Drew?
Hey, guys. I think that SGA is a top 5 player, but I think that his stats hypnotize people into thinking he's the best player in the league. I think that his playing style, it inflates his points where I don't think I watch him and I watch Luka, I watch Jokic. I think that Luka and Jokic are in a class by themselves. And I don't think the NBA is a 50-50 split because you're, defense and offense. I think it's more of an 80-20 split where 80% offense, 20% defense for your best player.
I think that's a little too high, Drew. I get your point. You don't have to be the world's greatest defender. I completely like some guys will make a living, a Draymond, a Ben Wallace, some other guys. But I think you can absolutely be at your zenith, the peak, and affect both sides. I mean, peak Michael Jordan, he got Defensive Player of the Year and MVP, Rob. Peak Kawhi, peak Kobe, peak LeBron, peak Tim Duncan. I mean, I can go on. I'm not saying every player has to be that, but I don't know if it has to be as high. If 80 and 20 is okay. I think, can you give a boy 65, 35? Can I get a little bit of that? Can I get a 70, 30? 80, 20 is like, you got to give me a little more than that. You feel me on that, Rob? Defensively, a little bit more than 20% of your game?
Yeah, that's very low. It really is. John in South Carolina, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, John?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
How are you?
I'm doing great. Hey, always like listening to you guys. You guys are awesome. You guys are great to listen to. I listen to you every night.
Man, you know what? We appreciate that, John, for real. Thank you.
Absolutely.
You're welcome. And so here's my comment on SGA. I think Steve Kerr hit it right on the head. It's a league thing. The league they don't know how to handle SGA and his playing style. But here's my thing. I think he's a true point guard. He gets his team involved. He plays good defense. If he has to take over the game, he can do that at any time. And I was going to ask you guys, who do you think are the 5 best true point guards right now in the NBA? And I mean true point guards. And in ending, and I'm going to get off and listen to you guys, I think SGA reminds me of old school Walt Frazier.
Oh, okay.
Walt Frazier was just cool. He was a great point guard. He wasn't loud. He wasn't in the media doing anything bad. But the league didn't like him because he wore a fur coat.
Yes,
and
he was.
He had. But Clyde was cool, and I think SGA's cool.
He still dresses.
Like
he still gets his dress on, Rob. You know that little wild, little loud right now to this day.
The clothes that he wears on MSG, I think all of those stores have been closed for 30 years. I'm just saying.
Otherwise, he would try to take them back. He might be rocking some stuff he wore back in his championship days with the Knicks. But to answer his question, I mean, you got guys like Cade, Jalen Brunson, Luka. SGA is kind of he's like a weird. Some of these guys are combo guards, but if you're counting him as a point guard, then so be it. Because he seems a little bit more two guardish to me personally. Who else are we missing? Obvious point guard up there. Fun to watch is LaMelo Ball. He's fun, but I can't put him quite up there yet. But he's a blast to watch. And Steph, healthy Steph, but, this hasn't been that kind of season for him, obviously, with the injuries and whatnot. All right, Joel Berry, talk to him the second in just a moment. Of course, NCAA champ. We'll get to rap with him about the NCAA tournament. Right now, Steven Sager, get you set on what's trending. Hey, Steve.
Hey there, let's update first-round action in the NCAA tournament. St. John's with a halftime lead of 47-28 against Northern Iowa. UCLA at the half leads UCF 35-27. Halftime two-seed Purdue 45-33 in the lead over Queens University. And under 8 minutes to go, it's still Iowa ahead of Clemson 51-40. Iowa State, a two-seed, advanced 108-74 against Tennessee State, but for the Cyclones, Joshua Jefferson left early in the game in St. Louis with a sprained ankle. He averaged 17 points per game. Speaking of injuries, for UCLA, Tyler Bilodeau out again with the sprained knee tonight. Kentucky somehow advanced an overtime win against Santa Clara, 89-84. Otega Oweh had 35 points, including the tying three-pointer at the buzzer at the end of regulation, banked it in from near half court right after Santa Clara hit the go-ahead three-pointer. Tennessee takes care of Miami, Ohio, 78-56. The Redhawks had been 32-1 this season. Virginia over Wright State 82-73. Texas Tech shot 64% from the floor and beat Akron 91-71. Wins for Arizona, Alabama, and Utah State, which eliminated Villanova 86-76. And the women's NCAA openers, easy first-round victories for Texas, Duke, and LSU. To the NBA scoreboard now as Pistons and Warriors are battling. About 5 minutes to go, second quarter. Golden State ahead 45-44 at Detroit. Brooklyn at home leading the Knicks 45-32 late in the first half. Portugal's Cristiano Ronaldo with a hamstring injury will miss this month's World Cup tune-up games against the U.S. and Mexico. Wide receiver DJ Chark retired after 7 seasons in the NFL. Seahawks wide receiver Jake Bobo signed an offer sheet with Jacksonville. A reminder, NASCAR's on FS1 this Sunday from Darlington, 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Back to you.
Hey, Steve, thank you so much. It is the Odd Couple, Rob Parker, Kelvin Washington, on a Funky Flashback Friday. Professional wrestling fans, the action continues every week. TNA Thursday Night Impact every week. Don't miss the adrenaline, the drama, and the total nonstop action as you watch your favorite TNA wrestling stars. And for showtimes and more information, visit TNAWrestling.com. Joined now by Joel Berry, the second 2017 NCAA champion, most outstanding player, ACC Network analyst as well. Joel Berry, the second on X. Joel, what's going on, man? How you doing?
How are you?
Yeah, fellas, I'm hanging in there. Didn't expect my boys to be out of the tournament this early. Was looking to be a fan for March Madness. This is the best time of the year. So I'm hanging in there, but at least we got some good games today to make me feel a little better.
I thought after the last 2 years you would be used to it by now.
Oh, come on, Rob.
Oh, come on. Don't do me like that.
What? I'm asking. And I want to ask you about Hubert Davis. I think he should be fired. With where North Carolina is, there's no way you should blow that game. They had a big lead, and we've seen this happen. The championship game, even with years back, they had a big lead. What's going on at North Carolina, and what do you expect?
Yeah, that's what I have the same sentiment as you, man. I don't know, where were the adjustments yesterday?
Yes.
I'm not a guy, I know we all got egos, we're prideful in what we do. That's just part of being human. But at some point, you got to adapt to the game. And all you had to do was just throw a zone in there, kind of change it up. If somebody's eating up all over the court, at some point you got to say, all right, this is enough. So that's kind of been the problem. You look at the season, it's been a success. And, they hit on the portal. They got Henry Basar. Some of the guys didn't pan out the way that they wanted them to, but you at least had a duo in Caleb Wilson and Henry Basar. They did their thing, and part of basketball, you get a lot of luck too, and they just got unlucky. But if Hubert got fired today, I would tell someone, I'm not surprised at all. I think it would warrant that because of what has happened over the past years, and we've seen it from both extremes. We've seen it them being up and blowing leads. But then last year the case was they were getting down by 20, 30 points and then making a comeback.
Right.
Hey, I tell you what, Joe, I think I speak for Rob, too. I appreciate your honesty. You know what I mean? Some guys don't want to, because affiliation with the school, and don't want to, say anything.
We're just talking about the real, right? But
real. Rob, we talk about it all the time. Some people, they still want them Blazers, the tickets, the free swag,
that,
and all that
and the Christmas gift bag, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, they want them Jordans, man, for sure. I mean,
So I appreciate your honesty there. Let me ask you this. You played, obviously, you won a championship. You played. How difficult is it to teach somebody who's young? We got a lot of really freshman phenoms who were in this, but how, you had freshmen coming in when you were a sophomore, junior, senior, to get them to understand, the tournament's a little different. The pressure's a little different. This game's a little bigger. Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you tell them, hey, just keep your head. It's the same game. But how do you explain that to somebody who's never played in a tournament?
Man, this is it's a great question. I'm reading a book about Roger Federer and how he came about and how his career evolved from when he was young to when he really started going on a run and really just knocking tennis out of just taking over tennis. And the difference was he understood how to play the game. He had the talent. That's the thing with all of these young guys. They have talent. They got all the tools. They got all of the intangibles. But what you don't realize is there's a difference just going out and playing basketball and then compared to going out and playing winning basketball. And Roger Federer talked about how he had to start playing the game within the game, learning how to take advantage of when the momentum was on his side, when to kind of, get himself in a position where, okay, maybe I got to slow it down a little bit and then find my pocket to attack. That's the difference between basketball and playing winning basketball. And during the tournament, that's what you have to have. You got to know when you need to slow it down. You got to know when you need to speed it up. And you have to know when you need to adapt to the game. We all come in with game plans, but you have to know, okay, maybe that was our thing. We got to change it up a little bit because this team is exposing it. That's the difference between basketball and winning basketball, and that's what you got to get the young guys to understand.
Like that.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about Michigan and where they fall in. I'm just curious. They had a really great season. Some people were like, we had some analysts on, they're going to win the championship. Other people like they won't, get past the second round. Where are you on Michigan, and where do they fit into this tournament?
Yeah, I like what Michigan has on paper. They got really good size. They have bigs that can play make. I like bigs that can be the quarterback out on the perimeter and allow the guards and other wings to kind of be receivers. I think that makes your team hard to game plan. But as I look at Michigan, you look at them at the start of the season, everybody wanted to crown them national champions, especially after that players out in Las Vegas. But the thing is, you got to start looking at trends. And as towards the end of the season, the teams in the Big Ten, they started figuring them out, and they weren't as high. And then some of these teams like TCU were having chances against them, Ohio State. So you kind of saw the drop off a little bit. So I think a lot of it has to do with, Casey being out as well. Like your bench has to be strong. And he was able to come in and kind of change the flavor of the game for them a little bit. But I still think they have the pieces. I like that they can play inside. When you look at them throughout the tournament, they have the ability to knock down shots. It's just about keeping the gas on the pedal for them. But I think they do have the pieces to win it all.
Yeah, well, it should be a good tournament for them. We'll have to wait and see. Joe Barry II, 2017, most outstanding player of the tournament, ACC Network analyst on with the Odd Couple on this Funky Flashback Friday. Let me go here with you. Cameron Boozer, A.J. DeBonta out. Cameron Boozer got a scare. A-Cuff Jr. looked fantastic so far. And a couple other guys here, Caleb Wilson. We can kind of go on and on. But who are you looking at? If you're DeBonta, what's it like now? You're out. What was that season like? And if you're a pro, one of the teams in the league, who are you looking at as saying potentially number one pick? Who do you like?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard not to go with A.J. DeBonta because you look at his ability to be able to impact the inside of the paint, being able to get to the basket. And, I mean, some of those finishes he had in that game against Texas was ridiculous. But he has all the tools and intangibles that you want in a player. He can handle it. He has size. He has length. I think the only question, and I don't think it's unknown, is what is he going to do defensively? But that's the thing, though. I mean, look, we could talk about defense here. They're scoring 150 points a night. I don't think saying, can he play defense? That's not the case. He'll, eventually that'll come on. But if I'm looking at, taking the number one pick, I'm going A.J. DeBonsa. But also look at Cam. Like, a lot of people are saying the athleticism for Cam is a problem. But if Jokic can ball out in the NBA and you can't even slide a piece of paper up under his feet, just the way that he's able to read the game, the IQ, being able to see the play before the play, like, that's skill too. Like, skill isn't just athleticism and just being able to handle the ball, go between your legs and wiggle. Skill is also IQ, being able to see the floor, make reads. That's what the NBA is, read and react. So it's going to be a hard pick for these GMs. I wouldn't want to be in their position. But, man, they got a lot of talent to pick from.
The last thing, I want to ask you about St. John's and Rick Pitino and just where do they fit in? They're playing tonight. They're up by 20-something at the half, against Northern Iowa. Do they have a shot? Is there some magic there for Rick Pitino?
Yeah, I think there is. I think you look at this team, and they're one of those teams that's hard to go against because they play such an unorthodox style of play. They get after you defensively. They bring intensity. They have physicality. Zuby down there in the block, you can get him the ball, and he also can step out and hit the three. I think the question for me is, can they have enough structure throughout the NCAA tournament when the game presents it where they need structure? Like, at some point, you can't play this wild, helter-skelter basketball. You got to be able to slow the game down. You got to be able to take your time and be able to play efficiently. That's my only question about St. John's is when that presents itself, can they do that?
All right, well, that's why they play the games, my man. We'll have to wait and see. Right. Appreciate you, Joe. Thank you so much, my guy. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. I appreciate y'all having me. Y'all enjoy the rest of the night and the tournament.
Yes, sir.
No doubt. Give him a follow. Joe Barry II. Give him a follow on X. All right, Rob, we talked about the Thunder a little bit earlier this hour. There's some a decision that they're making that maybe some folks would agree, some won't. We'll tell you what we're talking about next. It's the Odd Couple, Rob and Kelvin, on a Funky Flashback Friday. Stick with us, Fox Sports Radio.
Eugenio Suarez, who had the game-winning hit there in the ninth inning, spoke to Fox after the game. And just take a listen to hear what he said about what it meant to him.
What made this team so special?
The union. We are together the whole time. We're not just teammates. We are family. This team is awesome. We are family here. That's why we play with passion, with love, because we feel the jersey. We feel our country in front of us. That's why this is a lot for us as players, as a people, as a human beings, and as a Venezuela. Now we are the champion.
Yeah. Rob G, I mean, Rob and I were talking about this yesterday, and I meant to bring it up to you. We were saying, win or lose, America, specifically here in the States, if America won, what would be the lasting thing? I gave it 24-36. Did it last 8 hours here?
People got mad that they lost and they gave their venom this morning. I heard all of that stuff.
I mean,
but I'm going to say this, and I'm Venezuela, Miguel Cabrera, who I know and covered in Detroit for a long time, and for the people there, I'm not trying to poo-poo it, but I gotta. Can I? Is this on? I'm gonna call.
Sounds
I'm
like
gonna
some
call
major poo-poo.
I'm gonna call BS on this. I am.
Up.
And here's why I'm calling BS on this. All those guys, they didn't grow up with no WBC. They have no history. It's only been around for 20 years. It would be different if there was some long-standing history and their country could never push through. It's only been around for 20 years. You could barely eat a cup of coffee and a sweet roll. That's how long it's been around. Like, come on. You're making it like there's some unbelievable. Wow, this is the Olympics in Athens, Greece. And, like, really? A spring training event?
This is.
Dude, stop it. Venezuela. Really?
Yes, really,
This
Rob.
is going to make you cry and boo-hoo. Oh, my God. I can't believe we won. We're family. No. What about all the other nations that played? They're not family? Only you, because you won. And if you lost, you would have walked off just like they did at the Dominican Republic. Come on now. Congratulations. Mazel tov. I hope you enjoyed it. But to build this up and act like it's the greatest thing in the world and everybody's crying like a baby, boo-hoo, can we get a commercial for Kleenex? How do you say Kleenex in Spanish? What are you doing?
This is what I keep trying to tell you, Rob.
It ain't that big.
It's only that big to them.
It's just been around this long. Come on, Kelvin.
I'm telling you why.
There's
right
no
now,
history
look at
for
this. We're looking right now. It's the Oklahoma City, and it says Thunder above their jersey. But for when it says Venezuela, when it says Dominican Republic, when it says Japan, it matters to them. It's life or death to them. To the fans, they take it super seriously.
There's no history. There's nothing.
That's where you're wrong.
No, I'm not.
It's not the WBC history. It's the history of the country. And it can be basketball, pickleball. It don't matter.
No.
When their country is across it,
these
that's how they
players,
feel.
How can this be special when they were kids? There was none of this. They can't be that special.
It's because I'm playing baseball with my friends, with my countrymen, and we're doing this for our country. That anytime they wear a jersey that has their country name on it.
It's an exhibition happening during spring training instead of spring training games, and it heightens it. I get that. I'm not trying to poo-poo the whole thing.
You're heavily poo-pooing it. Matter of fact, where are the dude wipes? That's how much poo-poo is going on. Get this man some dude wipes.
But really, like a thing that's been around like 20 years.
I'm going to tell you why.
No history.
All jokes, I'm going to tell you why, Rob.
I find it to be mind-boggling. I find it mind-boggling.
Here's why. When they have an opportunity to win, Venezuela, America went and kidnapped their president. Okay, just took them. They're going through things right now in Cuba. They don't have any power. The entire country doesn't have power. So when countries, these smaller countries that are going through things like that, the game becomes much bigger than baseball for them. So for them, we just brought some solace, some passion, something to be happy about, to cheer about to our entire country. We're divided right now. Right now we got Golden State versus Boston. We got the Thunder versus the Brooklyn Nets. This is one singular thing where the entire country came together. We persevered. We won. And I feel you. It's just the WBC to us because we got Major League Baseball starting. Look at my watch. Exactly a week from today. But for them, this is life or death.
Did you hear Derek Jeter?
What did Derek Jeter say?
Derek Jeter said, the people who are saying that this is bigger than the World Series obviously had never played in the World Series or won a World Series. And his sentiment.
T.K. Hernandez has played in multiple and said the same thing. He's played in 5 World Series.
He ain't lead nobody. How many at-bats he got in those 5 World Series? Stop it with Kike.
Don't act like Kike ain't got some huge moments in the postseason.
All I'm saying is, are you kidding me that this thing has been around for a cup of coffee and a sweet roll, and now
and by the way, 2 decades is kind of long. You got
20 years of sports?
2 decades?
No, it ain't. No, it ain't.
The Global Gaming League is a video game league with celebrity-owned teams from T-Pain to Neo, competing in everything from Call of Duty to Tetris. Sign up and join the league now at globalgamingleague.com.
Sports Radio, Odd Couple, Rob Parker, Kelvin Washington, on a Funky Flashback Friday. Again, big shout out to Joel Berry, the second, just joined us a bit ago. Again, 2017 NCAA champ, and you can check that out. Rob G will get that up on the pod in a little bit. Hey, you're into video games, you're into celebrities. What about just a good time? The Global Gaming League is a video game league with celebrity-owned teams from T-Pain and Neo, competing in everything from Call of Duty to Tetris. So make sure you sign up and join the league now at globalgamingleague.com. Rob G, we talked about SGA and the Thunder. Obviously, they're the current reigning champs in the NBA, which means they got to go to the White House. Typically, teams of any league or any champion often have that visit. They said they're not going to be able to make it, right?
Yeah, to quote the great Lee Corso, not so fast, my friend. According to the Oklahoma City Thunder and a spokesperson, we'd be in touch with the White House, and we're appreciative and grateful for the communication, but the timing just doesn't work out for us, and we're not going to be able to make it this year.
Rob?
You have the right to go, not go, and I don't have an issue with it. Tom Brady didn't go see Barack Obama. I don't remember it being a big deal. I don't remember people being so worked up and ready to say Tom Brady wasn't patriotic or whatever the term you want to paint somebody with. What was supposed to be great about this country, and I question it every day, I'm just being honest, is that you were supposed to be able to do what you want to do and not have any pushback or repercussion from the government, right? I don't want to do this. I don't want to stand up for the national anthem. I don't want to do this. I want to do that. Right? You're protected. You can burn a flag if you want. It's not patriotic. I wouldn't do it. But you have that right. That's my point. So if they don't want to go, right, for whatever reason they don't want to go, then they shouldn't have to go. I don't even think it's an argument. You just, the way you handle it, thank you. Thanks for the invitation or whatever, but we're going to pass this time or we can't make it or whatever it is. I would just say I appreciate the invite, but we can't make it, or too many players can't make it, and we would rather be represented by a whole team. You know what I mean?
Right.
Rather than 4 people going, and then you got to ask the question, why didn't the other 12 guys come? You know what I mean?
Putting the guys on the spot. Yeah, I think, Rob, you bring up a great point. Look, you're supposed to be able to have – I don't think Michael Jordan went every time, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think he went every time. And there's been a bunch of people. Or you get a guy like Craig Hodges on the Bulls.
Craig Hodges went and got blackballed because –
and went on purpose, because he wore the full Muslim garb.
Dashiki. He had a dashiki, and he gave George Bush a letter about – the black community and things that needed help, and it was the end of the world.
And a lot of people feel that's the reason why he wasn't in the NBA anymore.
Yep.
So I bring it up to say we are now in a zero-sum situation, Rob, where if you say one thing, then you're completely cut off for anything else. If you don't like this, well, then you're completely done with it. And that's to your point of where we've gotten to, so that if you disagree with something, well, now, like we have had where this administration, the first iteration, were adversarial against players, right? We had them going up against LeBron, against Steph, against the
calling
NFL
them
players.
The son of a
calling
beast,
them SOBs.
Right, all that stuff.
And it got so controversial where typically there was a massive gap of separation between a professional athlete and government, meaning the athlete might say something, might disagree, might agree, might love it, and that kind of just be that. It didn't really touch the government like that. Now, if you say something, well, you might have an administration that doesn't like you, that comes out against you. We were like when it happened before with the Warriors back in 2017, I believe it was, 2018. They said, they didn't go the year before, and then the next year they won, and the White House like, we weren't going to invite you anyway. And it gets very tit for tat, very, again, adversarial.
But I'm gonna admit, I mean, like for all these, you'd have to help me, and I'm just calling it like I see it. There's been 2 administrations where there's been problems where people are not going. Let's just call it like it is. I mean, we can sit here all you want. I'm not talking about. It used to be a foregone conclusion. A chance to go to the White House, right, and visit is something all Americans at some point would like to do. We went on school trips, right, and all that kind of stuff. Kelvin, I don't remember. I really don't, no matter who was in the White House, Republican, Democrat. But let's be honest. Trump's 2 terms has been controversial, and that's why I think he's been hit or miss with what teams and what people want to go to the White House.
And everything's become controversial, right? You get the men's hockey team just wins in the Winter Olympics, and they want to go. People are upset they're going. The women's team, because again, the way that call went with the president and them, they're like, we don't want to go.
They don't really want them, but
I guess I gotta invite them because it's so. And that's why.
Would you want to go to an invitation like that to
I guess
somewhere?
I gotta invite them.
Yeah.
So if I'm inviting you, I guess I gotta invite them. So that's why I'm saying, to your point, historically, you would have a player or 2 who may not want to go, or coach or something.
Yes.
But the team would go. It was honor. Now, where we are, as you mentioned, with this administration in each term, we've had where entire teams aren't going, entire organizations aren't going, versus a player or two who may not go, timing, scheduling, or beliefs. Now it's like you just have a lot of teams who won't go, or teams who do, and if they do, it's backlash. Or you remember the Dodgers last year, right? So it makes for a very interesting place where we are right now, where going to the White Sox used to never be a conversation. It was a ticker, little side note you see on SportsCenter or something. MLB will tell you what's great for them now. Next.
It's the Odd Couple. You know what time it is. It's your boys.
Let's get it. The Odd Couple is fun.
Check.
And informative.
Check.
What's up, America? You want to talk sports with 1.5 of the best-looking guys in the game?
That game was incredible.
You are wrong.
You'll be king of the water cooler.
What's it like working with Rob? Rob in his mind is like Chris Rock mixed with Richard Pryor, so I'm running out of fake laughs. Ha ha, Rob. Rob is very passionate.
Son, you ain't ready for this. Well, I don't have BS in my game. I'm straightforward. I'm honest.
You say Brady's the greatest quarterback of all time, but Eli Manning beat him twice.
And, of course, it doesn't hurt that I'm right most of the time. Kelvin is the nice guy, wants to make everybody feel warm and fuzzy.
You done? Let me tell you the truth. I bring the energy, a youthful energy. Rob's not going to see this, is he? And I bring an honest opinion.
Michael Jordan, I can't take it anymore. I need a break. I'm going to go play baseball.
Trash Talking Tuesday is the best.
It's a great opportunity for folks to call in, and they get to trash whomever.
Who you trashing, Roger?
I'm trashing LeBron James and Michael Jordan.
Oh, okay.
They can't even hold Wilt Chamberlain's shoes.
Stop talking about the king like that. It's a new era. Let LeBron be the best, please.
I only recognize one king in the United States, and that's Burger King.
The connection with the Odd Couple audience is incredible. We really invite them in.
And they can relate, whether it be things about our own personal lives or our takes on sports.
Love you guys. You guys are killing it. Hey, we appreciate you. Thank you for rocking with your boys.
They feel like it's just my guys, just my friends, and they join right in on the show.
We talk with the listeners, not at them.
Obviously, you can listen to us live, but you can still check out the podcast. You can check out our YouTube. You can check us out on social media. So in any way you want to get it, you can get it.
Yes.
There's some yelling. It is some hot takes. It's a whole lot of fun. I'll give you that.
It is fun.
I agree. Begrudgingly.
The Odd Couple.
Sports talk that's too good and too fun.
Updating NCAA tournament first-round games, UCLA holding on 46-43 against UCF, 14 minutes to play. About 13 minutes to go, St. John's still leads Northern Iowa 53-38, and it's 2-seed Purdue ahead of Queens University 63-38 early in the second half. Final minute of the game, Iowa still ahead of Clemson 63-57. Utah State eliminated Villanova 86-76. Wins for Arizona and Alabama, wins for Virginia and Texas Tech. That Virginia game was 82-73 over Wright State, and the Virginia Cavaliers trailed with under 5 minutes to go. Tennessee and Iowa State each advanced, and so did Kentucky, which won in overtime against Santa Clara 89-84. In the NBA, Brooklyn Nets at halftime leading New York 50-44. I'm Steve DeSager.
I've been covering this league since 1987.
Can this sports writer and this sports fan share a radio show without driving each other crazy? Now, live from the Fox Sports Radio studios, here's Fox Sports Radio's Odd Couple, Rob Parker and Kelvin Washington.
All right, unbelievable. Hour number 3 on this funky Flashback Friday.
Number 3.
No doubt. Rob Parker, Kelvin Washington. A lot still to get to, including Mark Funky Cole Medina, Last Call, that and much more. And I should tell you, professional wrestling fans, the action continues every week. TNA, Thursday Night Impact, every week. Don't miss the adrenaline, the drama, and the total nonstop action as you watch your favorite TNA wrestling stars. For showtimes and more information, visit TNAwrestling.com. Don't forget also to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We appreciate everybody who has. I know there are plenty more of you out there who listen, who play around with YouTube. Just search Odd Couple FSR on YouTube. Give us a thumbs up icon and give us some comments as well. But search Odd Couple FSR and subscribe. All right. The numbers are in for the WBC, Kelvin, and Rob G has them, and they're robust. I mean, there's no other way of looking at it or sugarcoating it.
Yeah, it's a big week for us here at Fox because they were killing the game when it came to the WBC ratings. The 2026 WBC final, where Team USA came up small once again, had a robust, to quote Rob Parker, 10.78 million viewers. Most watched WBC telecast on any network ever. All right, and just for some context, in case you're like, hey, 10.8, it's not a big number. I've heard numbers bigger than that. For context, guys, the 2025 NBA Finals average viewership, 10.2 million viewers. So, Rob, I ask you this. With these ratings coming out for the WBC, the championship game specifically, does this cement the fact that baseball is now the number 2 sport in America, not basketball?
I'm going to say this first. Mm-hmm. I don't think it ever wasn't, the NFL, we know where that fits in.
Yeah.
Baseball, no sport can compete because it's only once a week. It's just totally different. And even the people who watch, they don't care about the teams that they're watching. They might have a player or two on their fantasy. So that changes. And the other part is the gambling aspect that you cannot ignore. Okay? Football used to be, Kelvin, on ABC for Monday Night Football for a long time. Do you know why it moved off of Monday Night Football on the network? Wasn't doing well. Prior to fantasy, you know what I mean, and football. So it's in a different league. Baseball, these numbers to me are significant, and part of it is you had about 20 or 25 Hall of Famers retire, right? Mm-hmm. A-Rod, Big Papi, Bonds, Pool. Am I right? Like 25, like Hall of Famers. guys who have played a long time. So there was a lull. Then the game got boring because it was home runs or strikeouts. I'll be the first one to tell you. It was just brutal, right? No base running, no hits, the shift. Guy hit a bullet up the middle, and there's the shortstop right up behind second base, right? Take a hit away. All that. And now you look, and as you see numbers decreasing for sports leagues, Kelvin, on television, baseball has bucked the trend. Baseball's numbers continue to grow, and probably the most promising is the social media numbers, right? Because that's your future. That's your young people. So those numbers have continued to grow as well. But these numbers here are pretty shocking for me, even for me. You know, I'm okay with the WBC, but I'm not crazy, right? I'm not all the way crazy. These numbers, Kelvin, for an exhibition in March, these aren't ratings counting Venezuela, the Dominican Republic. You're not counting any other nations. We talked about the World Series numbers that were gigantic without covering Canada. Canada's numbers didn't count. So all I'm saying is, while some leagues complain, and you could go and look it up for yourself, and you've heard Adam Silver talk about, the World Series, the presidential election, this, that. Even this year, Kelvin, NBA Saturday night primetime games, down 20%. Sunday's doing way better. They're up, but they're down 20% Saturday night. So I look at baseball, I look at their attendance numbers, 73 million tickets sold. More than all the other leagues combined. And probably the best sign is that the numbers, despite, television real well, most things going down as far as viewership. You know that? National news programs. Look at all the talk shows, right, that they're canceling. Like, the numbers are not really good for television. But live sports and national news are what moves the needles now, Kelvin, and baseball is doing really well. Those numbers are ridiculous.
That's great for baseball. It's been, and I've had the honor of doing the show with you now for 2 baseball seasons, and we've sat up here, we've marveled, we've enjoyed. In my first go at it, what did we get? We got Yankees Dodgers for the first time since '81. So if you're the league,
and we're not new to the party because we talk it. You know what I mean?
Oh, without a doubt. And so what I'm going to do on my portion of this segment, Rob, I'm going to just echo what you said, but the NBA version in that everything you said is factual for MLB. I think if you're the NBA, you take note of that, right? Leagues falter. You talked about the NFL where they were struggling for a little while, kind of became redundant. Then they got going, then the gambling and fantasy, and then it picks up and it becomes it's back running. Now that's a bohemian. It's on another level.
Yep.
But MLB had a lull for a while, right? The mid-'90s, boom, you get the home run races for about a 4 or 5 year between 98 and 02-ish. Boom, you're starting back up again. Then it starts to slow down over the last decade or so. If you talk about, it's a home run or strikeout, it's this or that. They, to their credit, sped up the pitch count, moved the line shift, started to promote their young stars more, allowing more things like we talked about what was happening in the WBC, where they're allowing guys to flip bats more and be more expressive. So it starts to go, and some things are just happenstance, right? You just get great baseball postseason series, right? You can't write that in. It's just fortunate, the baseball gods. Well, in NBA, same thing. You're getting towards the end of the LeBron era, the KD era. Chris Paul just sounds he's retiring. Kobe Bryant, God bless the dead, passed away a few years ago, but he retired in 2016, I believe. So my point is, you start to lose the Tim Duncans and the Dirks and the D Wades and so on. So you lose those guys who've been faces for the last better part of 2 decades. Starting to get young guys. They're coming in early as heck, Rob. 18, 19, 20. They got to find their way. They don't know how to play yet. They're like Bambi, don't have their legs under them. So it kind of gets boring. They're too young. They don't know how to win. The NBA has to look at what MLB did. Start to work on issues, right? All right, yeah, analytics, just like they did in baseball. Analytics said, well, a home run is better than a double and a single. And so, yeah, but getting base running is fun. Guys trying to steal bases is fun. That's what makes it entertaining. So the NBA, stop shooting as many threes. Stop being so big three heavy and have better teams. Get back to competing and having rivalries. We talk about it this year. I brought it up earlier. Starting to have guys and teams get into it. A little more tussling, a little rougher. We love it, right? Because then you start to have that smoke, that energy. And I think that's all good for the NBA. So I'm looking at, if I'm the NBA, we're in our lull. We had a little thing where there's always controversy. Now it's the gambling controversy. It's the All-Star controversy. How do we start to switch that around? Well, one thing is, thank God for them, Wemby looks like he's going to be amazing for a long time. SGA is amazing. Ant's been amazing. Luka, Jokic, and looks like Cade's going to be amazing. Jaylen Brown and Tatum. You have your next group, Maxey over there in Philly. Brunson with the Knicks. You have your next generation. You have a Knicks, that massive number one biggest city in America. The Knicks are good. You have your guys. You have your faces. Start to progress. You got some competition. They're starting to bump and grind. They're starting to get a little competitive and edgy and chippy. I love it. The All-Star game was pretty solid. We mostly all agreed on that. And another thing I'll go to, as you mentioned, where they dominate is in social media impact. If you look at 2025 numbers, total social media impact, the NBA had $731 million. Where do you think the NFL was, which is the behemoth of all American sports?
Last.
Well, they were second with only $265 million. A third of what the NBA had. MLB at 196. And then you look at followers. The Lakers lead with 63, we'll call it 4, it's 0.8, but 63.8 million followers. The Cowboys 20.5, Yankees 17.9. So, and the last thing I'll go, engagement per post, you get 45,000 for the Lakers, 25 for the Eagles, 28 for the Dodgers. So my point is, the NBA is a much younger league. The NBA is saying, understanding that their generation is younger, they're online, they're global. 75% of their social media fan base and following is out of the U.S. NFL's is mostly domestic, and the MLB's is growing. They call it the Ohtani effect. So the NBA is king for the youth, for social media, for highlights, for watching, and so they're going to have to find a way to continue to embrace that as they grow. But that's, to me, the MLB is the model. They went through a lull. They fixed it. Rob Manfred helped
fixed the
get things
game.
right.
And I tell people all the time, you got to give Rob Manfred credit.
I give him a lot of credit.
Because he was getting bashed when things weren't going well, and he did dramatic changes. And
I'm going to tell you, Rob, why I give him credit. I apologize for cutting you off there, but you know this better than most. You've been covering the league 40 years. Baseball had a history of not budging, of not being progressive, of saying, no, this is how my great-grandfather liked it, my grandfather liked it, my daddy liked it, this is how, like, slowest to budge. And I give him credit because the purists, and I would imagine even if you kept it honest, I know you have.
No,
exactly.
I wasn't a fan of it. A pitch clock, I was like, I don't want the game because I wasn't sure how it would affect the game. Would it bastardize the game? Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Where I feel like this is for fans who don't like baseball and you're trying to just speed through it. Like, let's just put a clock on 2 hours and we're leaving no matter what the score or situation.
Instead of us enjoying the people who are here, we love the game, we paid our money, let us enjoy it. So I give him a lot of credit because he listened. He's talked about it several times. He balances the old players and what the old game and what mattered in tradition with current guys. What are they asking for? What do they need? And current just, hey, social media matters, or hey, having a little flair matters, or here's what fans are saying. And he's not stuck in his ways. It'll be interesting, obviously, this whole with the negotiations with the Players Association. But as far as being nimble, being able to move on the fly, I give him a lot of credit. It's helped the game. It's helped that they've gotten stars. It's helped that they've gotten amazing postseason runs. And baseball has been on track to kind of get back to where they want to be. And again, if I'm the NBA, I take hope, and that to me is the model.
Yep, and coming into the season, which starts on Wednesday, I'll be in San Francisco, the Yankees and the Giants. If you're baseball with those numbers from the WBC, you got to feel great going into the start of the season because that's usually exhibition games. People don't watch exhibition games. You know what I mean? They're waiting for the season to start. You got to be
I do think it helped with that. I do think it helped. Countries, we talk about scarcity, that it happens every 3 years. And last time, I think folks, when they think about it, it's Trout, it's Ohtani, and, country pride, right? So I do think that helps. And last point real quick, Rob, I think what also will be interesting to see, Last year, you and I set up, we watched the NBA Finals. It was small-time Oklahoma City, small-town Indianapolis. If you were to get, just making it up hypothetical, if you got Lakers-Knicks, what would that be? If you got, Lakers-Celtics.
Well, anything involving the Knicks would be big because they haven't gone in such a long time and they haven't won. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
That would be a blockbuster. I'm not even kidding you. And it's not that it's discounting the Lakers. Like, the Knicks haven't won a championship since 1973.
That's what, if you're the NBA,
it was like the Cubs when the Cubs won the World Series, 100 and almost 50 years. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Something like that is going to be big. All right, 877-99 on Fox, 877-996-6369. Has MLB surpassed the NBA as the second most popular pro sport in America? We'll continue that conversation next with you. It is The Odd Couple, where we deliver insight, not noise, right here on Fox Sports Radio. Stick and stay.
For the dulcet tones of Kelvin Washington, the US of A.
Well, I got to give it to him, Alex. Every sports season is built on preparation, studying the trends, and making the necessary adjustments to reach the ultimate goal. Investing, it deserves the same approach. With Weebull, you've access to real-time market data, advanced tools, and an intuitive app designed to help you make informed decisions. So whether you're actively trading stocks, options, ETFs, and more, or if you're planning for the long term for you and your family with IRAs, cash management, and custodial accounts for children, Weebull gives you the tools to invest your way all in one platform. Looking to take your preparation to the next level? Check out Weebull's Learn resources and join their in-app community feed to discuss investing trends and happenings alongside 25 million users globally. And now to help you streamline your trading activities and elevate your strategy, try Vega, Weebull's personal market AI assistant that can give you real-time analysis, watch list insights, and also alerts when earnings drop. So get your financial portfolio game ready by downloading the Weebull app today or visiting Weebull.com. Check them out. So you got to start to looking at, Rob G, looking at the teams who are going to win it. And some of them are favored to have those freshman phenoms.
Yeah, you know what's crazy is year in, year out, we always talk about tournament time, like, hey, who's going to win it? Who's going to cut down the nets? And usually it comes down to one or two things. Either, because full disclosure, most of these people picking brackets are not watching all these college basketball games.
Right.
So
Let's
they're
just keep
going
it
by
real, right.
either, hey, Ken Pom or whatever ranks this team as the best team in the country, I'm just going to roll with them. Or more than likely, I've heard of this guy before. I've heard of this coach before. I'm going to bet on Coach Izzo. I'm going to bet on Coach K. And in this case, if you've been living under a rock, the entire college basketball season has been revolving around the play of a handful of freshmen. They're calling it the greatest freshman class that we've ever seen as it relates to NBA draft prospects. It's headlined by four guys. Number one, Cameron Boozer, Duke. He's going to be the National Player of the Year. He's on a quest right now to become, I think, just the second player ever to get National Player of the Year and win a national championship as a freshman. Number two, a guy we've talked about on this show, Darren Peterson over in Kansas. Now, they're only a 4 seed, but by all accounts, Darren Peterson was viewed as the number one draft prospect in this class. Now, because of some load management, some injury issues, we don't know what it is, his stock is kind of taking a hit. So now it's like, hey, this is where he's going to reestablish himself as the best player in the country. Number 3, A.J. DeBanza. He's a guy we've known about for years, even before these other two, because he was viewed as the next Tracy McGrady, the next great lanky wing player to come out. And then he goes to play with BYU, and it's like, well, that raised some eyebrows. What's he doing playing at BYU when you're a 5-star prospect? Leading scorer in the country, all eyes are on him. And last but not least, the guy who's kind of taken this basketball world by storm, especially in the last couple of weeks, Acuff Jr. out of Arkansas.
He's nice.
Nephew, a friend of the show, Rashad Phillips, who might get on this week to talk about it. He is being viewed as, hey, if this was any other year, this kid is in that John Wall, Russell Westbrook, Derrick Rose class of point guards. If there's anybody who can lead their team deep, it's this kid. He's explosive. They just won the SEC tournament. So, guys, I ask you, given how ballyhooed this freshman class is, how much are you betting on one of these 4 guys cutting down the nets at the end of the tournament?
I'm going with none. And they're amazingly talented. We get it. They've been driving the basketball ratings as far as notoriety. You talked about the names you're looking for. But historically, Rob G, I got to just say it doesn't really work when you have these fabulous freshmen, these freshman phenoms. And this is coming from somebody born and raised in Ann Arbor, Michigan, who saw the Fab Five and cried tears as a 10, 11-year-old when they lost back-to-back, in NCAA championship games. And it was difficult. And there's something to that. And by the way, these teams we're talking about ain't loaded like that. That team would go on to have a Hall of Famer in Chris Webber, a heck of a player in Jalen Rose, and a really, really good player in Juwan Howard, and so on and so forth, Jimmy King and Ray Jackson. But my point is they had some guys. These teams don't even have that. You're looking at Carmelo Anthony, who did it in 03, Anthony Davis in 2012, and really Jahlil Okafor, who led that Duke team back in 2015. That's it for the most part when you had these outstanding players who were freshmen. I just think it's too difficult for multiple reasons, Rob G. You're looking at teams that nowadays, Rob, how many jokes do I make last year around this time? I said, Rob, that guy looks like he went to high school with me and you. Or that guy looks like this. These kids are still getting the COVID years. You're still getting kids who get the 5th year, kids who find the way to get these 6 years. There's so much experience. Teams are transferring and getting transfer players who have been playing for years at other schools. So it is more difficult. You're having teams with so much experience. So many guys are on these teams that have done this before. And then you're playing teams when you're going to these tournaments that have nothing to lose, right? You're playing teams, we ain't going to win. We ain't going to win. So, therefore, they're playing styles and shooting up threes that you're not ready for. It is too much to ask these freshman phenoms to carry a team that is so reliant on them all the way through the tournament. That's why, Rob, I think it's just too difficult for them to do. And not to mention, I believe also sometimes with these players the last, 7, 8 years, in the back of their brain, the NBA is a consolation prize, right? So it becomes, I'm trying. I want to win this tournament game, but if we lose, guess where I'm going? I'll be a top 5, top 6, top 7 pick in a matter of a few weeks anyway. So in the back of your brain, you kind of have that thing you can rely on and say, well, if we lose, so what? I'm going to be a top pick, a lottery pick, and you have that.
You think they think that when they're out there playing, really?
No, I think they're competing, but subconsciously, what's the worst that can happen? Whereas
I'm just saying, if you're playing,
back in the 90s,
I just couldn't imagine be thinking about, okay, I'm playing in a basketball game. No, I'm dead serious.
I'm serious.
This ain't football where you don't want to play in a meaningless game. I get that. You're playing in a tournament. I don't know how.
I think
you're
they
at 19 years old
want to win, but if in the back of your brain, this is the difference when you know you're one and done. Fox Sports Radio, your boys, Rob Parker, Kelvin Washington, the odd couple on a Funky Flashback Friday. Hey, Rob, in a few minutes, we got Mark Funky Medina, Essentially Sports, Fox Sports Radio, NBA Insider, going to join us in a bit. Looking forward to that. Also, if you miss any of today's show, then you're going to want to catch the podcast. You can search The Odd Couple wherever you get your pods, and right after the show, today's pod will be posted. Be sure to follow it, rate it 5 stars. You can also provide a review. And again, just search The Odd Couple wherever you get your podcast. You'll find the show, the best of version, a full version as well. Rob G will get us up there soon enough. All right, Rob, 877-99 on Fox. MLB, have they clearly surpassed the NBA as America's number 2? They got big ratings for the WBC and have had a couple of really good years. Comes to postseason and just stars and storylines. What do you say? 877-99 on Fox. Who we got?
All right, Chili Tim in Atlanta. You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Chili?
What up, Rob? What up, Kelvin? How you guys doing, man?
Great. How are you?
What's up, Chili? Chili, you all right, man? You sound a little quiet, man.
Yeah, I'm just chill. That's why I get the name Chili.
That's right.
Okay,
I got nothing wrong with that.
I was telling Rob G, and I do think probably for like my age and maybe a little bit younger, I think the NBA is kind of like you were saying, Kelvin, like that young person's game. But they're watching highlights. Like I'll sit down and watch a baseball game, or I'll go to a baseball game, and that's a little bit different than the younger group. But I'll say that one thing that the NFL and the MLB does have is like that evil empire, right? Like we had the Chiefs when everyone was rooting to see them lose. Now we have the Dodgers that kind of starting back as that evil empire. I wasn't a Blue Jay fan, but I was rooting like heck for them to take down the Dodgers. That's why I was so disappointed that they choked down the job, because I wanted the Dodgers to be taken down.
And Chili, they choked it down. I mean, my God.
Oh, my God. And so the NBA doesn't have that since the Warriors. Now, it could be the Thunder, but they got to win some more, and that's what they don't have. So, like you said, the rivalry, but definitely that evil empire where people will tune in just to see if they get taken down a notch. And I think the Dodgers this year, no one wants to see the Dodgers win again. So, if they get back into the World Series, it's going to be even more like, okay, who's going to take these guys down? Like with the Chiefs, they start to become hated. And the NBA doesn't have that. And I guess they're searching for it. But right now, it could be the Thunder. But the Thunder are hated for the wrong reasons, because, Shea is out here flopping, getting calls. But it's not the same thing.
No.
You need that dominant team that people love to will tune in to watch just to see them go down.
I love that. Yeah, that's a good point, Chili. Appreciate it. Have a great weekend. Thank you. What
No
about
doubt. Appreciate you.
Andre in Massachusetts? You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Dre?
Hey, how you doing? Thanks for taking the call. Happy Friday. Enjoying March Madness. This cuts close for me, because I'm diehard basketball, NBA. So I'm going to say that baseball has not surpassed the NBA just yet in terms of being second. Obviously, football is king. There's no two ways about it. And I see the NBA looking to expand, get into other markets to kind of expand.
But you got to talk about the numbers, though. Like that's like the numbers over the last few years have really taken a dip. And on most things in television, Dre, but baseball has bucked the trend. And I think that's the part that's so weird, because you should be a part of that group, right? Even last year, you ready for this? The NFL last year for their postseason, they were down 2% for the season, Kelvin. But for the postseason, down 8%. Now, you know, it ain't the end of the world, but most are taking a downward trend in their television viewing. Yet baseball is up, Andre. That's the only thing I'm talking about.
Because baseball has finally decided to innovate, and they've struck lightning with the pitch clock, speeds up the game, more consistent action. And I'm going to tell you one thing. Here's the reason I don't have him pass the NBA. They need to get this contract situation and avoid a lockout. I don't think people are going to realize how much this automated ball strike system is going to improve baseball when they actually get it right. A lot of these called third strikes or balls on, they're getting it wrong. And having the ABS, so they actually get it right, so you don't lose one of those 27 outs, which is all you get, is going to increase the interest and the
but I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this, Dre, and just agree or disagree. They've had instant replay in the NFL, and they still get calls wrong. And I don't think that stops people from watching football. Like, I hear you. You want to get the call right or whatever. If that's the case, then why have umpires at all? It should be for every pitch. Why not just do it for every pitch then?
I don't think we need the Jeffersons taking over the game. All I'm saying is if you watch sports if you watch tennis, how they have the challenge in tennis where you actually can go back and check, does he get it right, does he get it wrong? It doesn't take a tremendous amount of time, and you actually get some.
So then it should just be we should just use it on every pitch. No, I'm asking you if you want to get it right.
I like the idea of a challenge. First of all, how the heck do these umpires, this is a baseball thing, how do they see it from the dugout and know that it's right, looking at that angle? I don't understand it, but they do. And these umpires miscall. I just think it makes it better. Give that guy an extra pitch if it wasn't right, or if it's right, you're out and keep it moving. But I think it's going to increase the interest. Thanks for taking the call.
Yep, thank you.
No doubt. Hey, Dre, thank you, man. Appreciate it.
I don't know about that. Every pitch, you know what I mean? I don't know if I want to go there yet.
I think, but going back to my earlier Rob Manfred point, I think this is where you give it a shot. You try it. If it doesn't work, you move on. And we can always say, hey, I tried it, and you'll get credit for that versus not trying it. And it's so funny because the technology only gets better on TV for us to clearly see when they miss it, right? It becomes egregious.
Yeah, and I told you
showing it in different angles, a million different angles. You're like, ooh.
But see, my only fear on that is if I hit anywhere in the box, it's a strike, right? So if I'm a pitcher, I'm not throwing the ball over the plate is what I'm trying to say.
But is it not already, though, in the sense of like –
No.
I mean, that's technically what it should be.
But I'm saying I wouldn't stay away from the middle of the plate.
I get what you're saying.
Costs.
Like the
you know
refs
what I'm
might
saying?
not give it to me if I'm painting the corners.
Yes.
I might not get all the calls.
You wouldn't get every single – do you know what I'm saying? You can't pitch
you wouldn't
like
get them
that.
all.
That's it. All right.
It'll be interesting, man. That's why we'll have to wait and see here. Mark Funky Cole Medina. Going to talk some NBA with him in just a minute. Right now, Steve DeSager getting us set on what's trending. Hey, Steve.
Hey there. In the first round of the NCAA men's basketball tournament, the number 9 seeds went undefeated. 4-0 in the 9 versus 8 matchups, including 9-seed Iowa winning tonight, eliminating Clemson 67-61. Final seconds, 2-seed Purdue is going to advance, leading late 104-69 against Queens University. St. John's with a lead of 79-53 against Northern Iowa with about 30 seconds left. And about 2.5 minutes to go, UCLA holding on against UCF 63-56 among the late window games. 1 seed in the South and defending national champion Florida gets underway in about 15 minutes against Prairie View. The UConn-Furman game will start after 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Also after 10 Eastern, Kansas against Cal Baptist, and the late games in St. Louis with Missouri against Miami. Utah State eliminated Villanova 86-76. Utah State on 3-pointers went 2 for 16. But on 2-pointers, 26 for 35 today. Arizona and Alabama each won to advance. Same with Texas Tech and Virginia. 3-seed Virginia was trailing Wright State with under 5 minutes to go and then outscored them 13-3 to end the game. 82-73 Cavaliers. Tennessee and Iowa State each won. 2-seed Cyclones 108-74 over Tennessee State. Joshua Jefferson of Iowa State left early with a sprained ankle. He averaged 17 points per game. And Kentucky somehow advanced with the overtime win against Santa Clara today. 89-84, Otega Oweh with 35 points. To the NBA, the Knicks have taken the lead at Brooklyn early fourth quarter, 76-67 for New York. 20 points for Karl Anthony Towns. At Detroit, it's now Pistons 97-73 over Golden State with about 10 minutes left. Houston now leads at home against Atlanta, 67-58. The Hawks have an 11-game winning streak on the line. Memphis at home is ahead of Boston, 66-64, third quarter. Among the NHL games, they've started overtime at Toronto Maple Leafs tied 3-3 with the Carolina Hurricanes. The Twins released veteran reliever Liam Hendriks. He was invited to spring training on a minor league deal. Toronto beat Minnesota at spring training 2-1 to win to Max Scherzer with 5 scoreless innings. Back to you.
Hey, Steve, thank you. Have a great weekend. It's the Odd Couple, Rob and Kelvin on a Funky Flashback Friday. Are you into video games, celebrities, or just a good time? Well, the Global Gaming League is a video game league with celebrity-owned teams. From T-Pain to Neo, they're competing in everything from Call of Duty to Tetris, so make sure you sign up. Join the league now at globalgamingleague.com. Somebody I have no idea if he's into video games. He works so much, I doubt he even has time. Mark Funky Cole Medina, Essentially Sports, Fox Sports Radio, NBA Insider. What's up, Mark?
Hey, Kelvin, to answer, I'm not much of a gamer now, but I swear to you this is true. Back in the day, I was one of many people that loved GoldenEye on N64.
Oh, yeah.
I unlocked every single cheat code, including being the facility level and double agent in record time.
I'm just going to say this, and we'll get to you. I missed a lot of high school because of that game. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say.
All I can say is you didn't miss a lot of high school, though, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I copy that. I guess I made it. Mama, I made it. I'm here today. Let's jump in here, man. You know what? Just put a little quick button. Just a quick conversation Rob and I were having with the listeners as well. MLB's had a great few seasons, really kind of getting them back out there and really growing the game.
And we were talking about let's talk about the WBC numbers.
Yeah, that's where the genesis of the conversation was. They had great ratings. Thanks, Rob, for that. The WBC had great ratings. And Rob and I, we sit here, we talk baseball a lot, and we enjoy it. We talk about how it's been growing, and it's kind of getting back to some high acclaim. NBA, where do you feel right now? It's kind of been taking a beating, some black guys. Do you think that it's kind of slowly merging back? Or if you were to talk to Adam Silver, what would you say, hey, some ways to kind of help it grow again?
Well, it's gotten better, but it's still a work in progress. And some of the things on why it's gotten better, there's been relatively better player availability. I think some of the games are better. But when you're looking at just the way games are distributed, you know, for all this talk about, hey, they have multiple platforms now on streaming, they also went back to network television. And even in this age of cord cutting, people still have network TV. So some of that has led to improvement, but it's still work in progress. And you can't compare to what the numbers were for the Bulls in the 90s and even, you know, Warriors-Cavaliers NBA Finals a decade ago.
Yeah. It's just weird that the WBC got such high ratings for an exhibition in March, you know what I mean, compared to the NBA Finals. That is what
Hey, star power is king, number one, but number two, I mean, look at Olympics, Paris Games with, you know, USA Basketball. People tuned in because it was the stars. It was good games, good competition. So I think, again, that's why I say work in progress. There has been better availability, better games, but I think the feeling is how it's always been. Most casual fans and general interest fans, they tune into the NBA once the playoffs start.
All right, you wrote off the Lakers. Are you still writing them off?
Well, to be clear, Rob, I wrote off the Lakers to win a championship.
I know. That's what I said. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, I didn't write them off to make the playoffs.
I didn't say that. I didn't say. Did I say playoffs with that? I just said you wrote them off. And I'm right there with you, all right? So I haven't changed my mind at all.
But I'm still there, too. I don't think they have enough.
Rob, on J.J. Redick, I mean, great coaching job as of late, getting everyone to buy in.
When they get knocked out in the first round again with matchups, then come talk to me.
In all seriousness, Rob, obviously they're playing a lot better. We've seen that some of the things have a lot to do with availability, time on the court, DeAndre Ayton being a better version of himself and actually buying in. And even though they're not a great defensive team, effort, communication goes a long way. But I still think their ceiling is what I've said before, that they're a playoff team. They can get to the second round, but I think that they don't have enough, you know, assuming no major injuries on those teams to beat San Antonio or Oklahoma City. But look, in the playoffs, you need your best stars playing at their best. And as of the last 2 weeks, Luka Doncic, Austin Reeves, and LeBron James have.
Let me ask you this: are the Nuggets in a position where they're kind of sleepwalking to the playoffs? Do you see some issues there? They're 5-5 their last 10. They haven't looked great in some games. The Lakers have kind of had their number during the regular season. Because like Houston's getting a little smoke, they've been struggling. Lakers for a period about a month or so ago getting a little smoke. And it's like Denver's just skating underneath. No one's really bringing them up.
Yeah. The Nuggets are in a weird situation. I think that I'm not writing them off because they have Nikola Jokic. Jamal Murray has mostly been healthy, consistent, but they've had inconsistency everywhere else. Aaron Gordon just came back from injuries, but they've always had overlapping ailments with him or Peyton Watson, Christian Brown. Obviously, it starts with Jokic and Murray, and it's good that they've been healthy, but they've have had to deal with a lot of different starting lineup combinations and rotation combinations with their supporting cast. So with that, I still think that they're a better team than the Minnesota Timberwolves, than the Houston Rockets, but I put them in that second tier in the Western Conference with the Lakers. If Lakers Nuggets, face off in the playoffs now, I guess because of how recently both teams have played, the edge would go to the Lakers, but plenty of change can happen between now and late April, early May, when they could possibly face in the postseason. But I think it's very clear that barring major injuries, the tier in the West, it's Thunder, Spurs in the first tier, second tier, Lakers, Nuggets, and then everyone else, they're all just pretenders.
How about, I believe it was Tracy McGrady. I can't find it right now. I'm almost positive, who put a thumbs down on the idea of expansion. He just says there's not enough talent to expand 2 more teams. I thought this was interesting. You know, normally these guys are not really shaking the boat that much, and I agree with it. I would rather see 2 teams move from where they are than to add 2 more teams. What's your take on that?
Yeah, it's a very fair point. I mean, especially when you're looking at the landscape this season where there's a lot of, I think,
there are
good
10 teams
parity.
tanking. 10 teams.
Yeah. I mean, let's see. Nets, Wizards, Pacers, Jazz, Kings, they've all been terrible. And there's even more terrible teams with Dallas, New Orleans, Memphis. But I think those are different because those had more to do with injuries than the other teams where their rosters were just terrible to begin with, right? But when you add another team, expansion teams usually have losing seasons to start out. I think there's another thing, and it's ultimate first world issues, but that's applicable in professional sports. When you expand, now you have to share money with those teams. And I think that there's angst with the ownership ranks to do that right away because on one hand you think, hey, well, the league's fine. They just negotiated this media rights deal, and they're getting $11 billion. But I think from the owner's point of view, they were the ones that were part of that value. And so to add new franchises that don't have anything to do with that, why is it fair for them to all of a sudden share that revenue? But I think there's a few things here. The NBA wants to expand because they know Seattle, they did them wrong when they relocated to OKC because that fan base is great. Las Vegas, they've shown through Summer League exhibition play with preseason games, Team USA games ahead of Olympics, and the WNBA with the Aces that there is an appetite for basketball, but it's a matter of, not putting the cart before the horse, so to speak, right? So I think expansion is inevitable, but I don't think it's imminent.
Well, I'll tell you what, owners want that $500 million they would get if it's somewhere around $7.5 billion.
But he's right, though. You have to split the TV money 2 more mouths. You know what I mean? If you add those teams. So you got to look at the long term as far as the money. I think that, Mark, that's a great point.
You know they want some extra $500. Them owners getting $500 million. That's not nothing to sneeze at. Hey, Mark, man, we appreciate it as always, brother. Have a great weekend.
Appreciate you guys and hope your bracket's still all right.
Bracket smack it minus Toro.
Yes.
Who cares?
So far, so good.
Oh, man. Hey, thank you. Appreciate it. All right. Last call. No doubt. Last call, Rob, 877-99 on Fox. Last call. Hit us up. And also, we were just talking a little bit about expansion. You had once said something about a star player and his interest in buying a team. We'll talk about that as well. It's The Odd Couple on Fox Sports Radio.
It's last call time on The Odd Couple. If you had a take and couldn't get in all show, here's your chance. Your call's important to us. Call us at 877-99 on Fox. Hurry up. Rob and Kelvin got to get out of here.
Justin Fields has been dealt to the Kansas City Chiefs for a future 6th-round pick, presumably so Fields can back up Patrick Mahomes, but possibly to start the first couple of games of the season while Mahomes rehabs a knee injury.
I've read all the comments. People thinking that Andy Reid is Mother Teresa and going to save Justin Fields, and it's everybody else. Every place he's been, it's everybody else. It's the offensive coordinator. It's the ball boy. It's the masseuse at the facility.
Whoa.
It's everybody
Wrong team.
except Justin.
The Browns.
Except Justin Fields. I think it's if he's going to be the backup quarterback and and he doesn't play and holds a clipboard and goes to practice and does all that stuff, he should have a long career. He should probably play for 10 or 12 years. Mm-hmm. If you really think Andy Reid is going to turn him around, I just don't see it. Like, he's had opportunities. He went to the Jets. They gave him the quarterback job, didn't they? Was there a They gave him the job. Aaron Glenn swore by him, the toughest quarterback to defend and work up a game plan for. That's what he said. Go read the quote. And what happened? They couldn't wait to get him out of there, right? It was really, really bad. Everywhere you go, you can't keep blaming everybody else. And Justin Fields, he seemed like the greatest guy in the world. Mm-hmm. I don't know if football's really, his main focus. I know he wants to be a missionary. At least that's what I read. I think he's had ample chances. And I'm not saying that he can't go there and be a serviceable backup. He go there for Patrick Mahomes and not play for 8 years. Okay, that could work. Or you play once in a blue moon. Starting quarterback in the NFL, I don't care if Andy Reid was working with him. I don't see it.
Here's why I totally get what you're saying, but the little pushback that I'll offer you. Justin Fields had Matt Nagy. He had Matt Eberflus as his coach in Chicago. Then he goes with Mike Tomlin, solid coach. We know, a very good coach in a well-run organization in the Steelers, and he has some success. They chose to go with the Super Bowl winner and Russell Wilson, and that ended up being it for him. But we saw some success there. He's 4-2, 10 touchdowns, I think 1 interception, and was solid.
His numbers weren't good.
He was solid, but I'm not even here to act like he was some Pro Bowler or some amazing player. My point is, we saw some success. We saw some semblance of, oh wow, okay, he's a pro. Goes to Aaron Glenn, chaos with the Jets. He's a horrible player. They aren't great. Bad situation. The only pushback I have, because I totally get what you're saying, but I would offer that the only time we saw him with what we would deem a well-run organization and a good coach, we saw some success. So that would be the only thing I would be interested in, is to see now you're with, obviously, somebody who's great offensively in Andy Reid. If nothing else, that's what he's been, is great with quarterbacks and great.
I think that's the biggest cop-out, that the only way a player can have success is if everything around them works. Mm-hmm. When we've seen players go to bad teams and turn it around and overcome that. And I'm going to give you, Cincinnati had not won a playoff game since Moby Dick was a guppy. Mm-hmm. And they couldn't win a playoff game. Joe Burrow, Rob G, am I lying? Don't go to Cincinnati. I'm trying to make the case that you're making for Justin Fields. You could Google it. Stories. People are trying to tell Joe Burrow, don't go to Cincinnati.
Right, of course
it's a bad organization. That the owner doesn't have money. It's a mom and pop store. They don't even have an outside facility. They don't even have an indoor facility. Mm-hmm. Like, there were all these bad things. The guy got hurt, played 8 or 9 games his rookie year, came back the next year, went to Kansas City and beat Andy Reid and Mahomes and the Chiefs and went to the Super Bowl. And my only point is, it can't always be everybody else.
But
you said
you said only, and I'm not saying that. I'm saying Joe Burrow might have had the greatest college football quarterback season we've ever seen. Joe Burrow is amazing. Justin Fields ain't that. So Joe Burrow can take a team that isn't that great and make them look better. And by the way, since then, Joe Burrow's been miserable. Joe Burrow, I don't even know if he want to play football anymore.
Not the point. My point
is that now look at him
people
in his bad, unwell-run organization.
People tried to talk him out of going there because they said that was a badly run organization.
And it has been ever since.
And he still was able to get them to the Super Bowl.
I'm not disagreeing. It's a fact.
Are you into video games, celebrities, or just a good time? The Global Gaming League is a video game league with celebrity-owned teams from T-Pain to Neo, competing in everything from Call of Duty to Tetris. Sign up and join the league now at globalgamingleague.com.
Hey, big shout out to Mark Medina. Just joined us. Appreciate that. The odd couple, Rob and Kelvin, on a funky flashback Friday. Shout out to DJ Ali Alex on the ones and twos throughout the show. And as you just heard there, you into video games, celebrities, or just good time? The Global Gaming League is a video game league with celebrity-owned teams. You got T-Pain, you got Neo, and more competing in everything from Call of Duty to Tetris. So sign up now. Join the league at globalgamingleague.com. All right, Rob, it's time for last call.
This is the last call.
Last call.
It's last call. Last call time on the odd call.
Last call. Who we got?
Who we got? Kevin in Culver City, my Mardi Gras wings guy.
You are the last caller here on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio.
What's up, Kev? I ate the wings. Thank you, my man.
That's good. I'm glad you enjoyed it, brother. Appreciate it, man.
They were so good. My goodness gracious. Great job. Thank you, my man. Appreciate it.
Oh, of course. I got an event for you with D-Train in June. I'm going to have to invite you to, man. You're going to have to turn up a little bit.
All right. Yeah, that'll be good. Let me know. Yeah, and we'll this time we'll meet. We've been seeing pictures of some of our callers, and none of them match, so it'll be.
No, listen.
Oh, that's we didn't even bring it up.
We didn't talk about Andre. I'm still shooketh.
We saw a picture of Andre from Massachusetts, and no, did not match up.
I was just, I don't know. I don't know what I was expecting.
Like Sean from Sacramento. Nobody knew he was Filipino, you know?
I see you. I don't look like Justin Bieber.
All right.
Look, the Lakers, I'm not going to do what I did last season, but
Don't do it.
There's a difference. I see a look in Luka's face and the way he's playing. If they play like that, with the offense, he's not playing on a string where everybody else is feeding off of him, where the defense is going to him and trying to blitz him. That's opening it up for guys like Ayton and Smart and LeBron. And if LeBron is playing like this and he sees the end of the tunnel and possibly a championship and he gives his all, we get Cleveland LeBron in 2016 against the Warriors, the Lakers got a legit shot. And if Ayton decides he wants to play like the player that we've been expect him to be his whole career for this playoff run, the Lakers do have a legit shot because the Spurs have not been there yet. How many shot makers do they actually have outside of Wembyana? And Oklahoma City, are they healthy enough as they were last season to go on this run with guys like Jalen Williams and Shai? So,
all right, so I'm
jumping in. I want to make the bet.
Let's bet.
I'm in on that too.
Let's bet another wings. You can get your wings back. You want to make a bet?
Give me a week. I'm late.
Never mind. No.
On.
We're good. Thank you, Kevin. We're good. You're hemming. You're hemming it hard. All right.
Hey, Rob. I wanted in on that.
Yeah. But whatever.
Listen, they look great. They look great right now. They're playing great, but that West is going to be crazy. And they have to get what they would have to get through to get there. That's going to be difficult.
Let me say this real quick. I'm going to say this real quick about. It was like for a lot of people thought it was a foregone conclusion that LeBron was going to get the Las Vegas franchise. This is years ago. For him to now come out and say that he's not interested at all. It's funny. Can you Google the old articles about being interested in that? But Kelvin,
what do you make of that? Yeah,
it's real simple. There's so much big money in Vegas. He wasn't going to get that team. Like the casino owners, Steve Wynn and all those guys. I just think. Remember, those guys are so wealthy, right? LeBron still works for somebody. No matter how much money he has, do you know what I mean? He draws a paycheck from somebody. Those guys don't draw a paycheck from anybody.
But let me add this real quick. But wouldn't you want the Goober? What's the people who own the Lakers and the Dodgers? Magic is a minority owner. Wouldn't you want somebody just to kind of be, hey, LeBron? People don't know me. People don't know all of us with the big money.
He was in a group. He was in a group with the Red Sox people, the Fenway group, and they're not interested. So there's his group.
Yeah. All right. Well, interested. You'll have an interesting weekend, my friend. You doing anything?
Living.
Tell me
The
about it later.
Jason Smith Show with Mike Harmon is coming up next.
I never miss your radio show. I never hear it, so I never miss it.
Did you hear that?